You asshole. Not cool, man.
How many times have you done that to me?
Not enough. So if you're just watching, surprise.
Yeah.
Back to
If you
back.
are, no one's going to be watching this.
I
thing.
don't care.
Right.
I just want to get this out of the way. But we have a surprise last minute guest,
Yeah, we do.
and that is your youngest.
Yes.
Hi, Olivia.
And
Hello.
my youngest and favorite.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
You're tied with Gabe now. Gabe's kind of, you used to be my
I
favorite.
thought you meant with him. I was like, for sure not.
No. Well, no, yes. Now, like I said, you were my favorite of Joey's children, and now Gabe's tied you for favorite. He might even be a little bit ahead because he can drink with us.
I don't know. I was going to say, I don't know. Yeah.
So she is not drinking because she is
She's underage.
the 21.
Yeah, and we're drinking the Larceny again. We're going to Fire Mike because
This was like fucking half an hour ago.
Well, it was because we're both busy next weekend, and why not while you're already here?
And you got permission to come down and do another episode.
No,
so that's
no,
nice.
I didn't get permission. I told her.
Did he get permission?
Put your eye patches on and
I
go
wasn't
to sleep.
there for that part of the
No.
conversation.
But you know him well enough. Did he get
No,
permission?
I'll tell you what
to do
happened.
another episode tonight. Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what happened. I went in there and I talked to her for a moment and I said, well, we're fixing to record another episode.
Yeah.
She goes, wait, I thought he was gone already. That's what she said.
That's fair.
I was like, why?
No,
Why-
you're
did
like,
you hear
and
him
then
leave?
you were like, no, woman.
No,
I said we're doing
I
two.
did not.
No.
No, but I did say her to her on Father's Day weekend. She said, what do you want to do for Father's Day? I said, said that to me on Saturday, June the 19th. And I said, she said, what do you want to do? I said, well, as a white man, I don't know that I could tell you anything I need to do on June while it's Juneteenth. So
Anyway, cheers. Cheers, Olivia. Welcome to the show.
yeah, that's sad. Yeah.
I feel like Joey's very excited about having you on.
You think so?
No, I do not.
Oh, then why would you say that?
Why wouldn't I say that?
I don't know. So anyway,
God damn it, I'm tired.
yeah, she got home about the time we were getting ready to record, and I said, hey, you want to do a podcast? And she said, right now? And I said, yeah. She said, what about? And I said, whatever you want to talk about.
Because you usually bail. I know he's asked you on more than one occasion.
Mhm.
And you don't listen to this podcast at all.
No, I tell my friends that you guys have a podcast, and they're like, "Oh, really? Let me listen to it." And I'm like, "Absolutely not."
Or at
And
least,
then-
so have any of your friends listened to our podcast?
Two of my exes have.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
one of them said, one of them, that's how he knows I didn't like him.
That's
Yep.
fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's hilarious, though.
He actually said, "Well, he said one good thing about me. He was surprised that our relationship lasted so long." And I was like, "Yeah, me too, bud."
That's fair.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and we're pretty vocal about things because I know one of Eli's friends, at least one of them, listens to this pretty regularly, and
mhm.
I'm surprised I haven't heard more about that. But I think he refuses to listen to it too.
I'm surprised that the parents haven't contacted you yet.
Right? But he turns 18 in like 2 months.
Eli or his friend?
Eli.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I gave him your number. Good.
Oh.
He has.
I'm uncomfortable.
He has aged. Like I feel like he should be 16.
Yeah, no.
Like he has really aged like quickly.
Yeah, he's supposed to go this next week for his Air Force enlistment. He's doing a
Oh,
pre,
yeah?
like they have a soft enlistment, and he does that shit, and then he gets his choice of like 5 jobs instead of like whatever the fuck they throw at him.
Yeah.
So it works out.
So you shook your head.
That Air Force at 16, that's a lot.
He's 18.
He's
He's
18.
17.
18. Oh,
He's
you're
18,
right.
yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let me take him out one weekend.
I will.
Okay.
He would. Oh my god, you have no idea. Like he would be the most uncomfortable he's ever
No,
been in
I
his
think
life.
I have an idea, and I think that's why I like it.
Okay.
It would be amazing.
Do you
What's
want-
the
do you
idea?
want to
you
share
have?
this idea?
I would thrive off of his awkwardness.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be the awkward one in the situation.
No.
Sounds great.
No. But
So
he
you
would-
can take him out with some of your friends or just the two of you?
Oh, some of my friends,
even better.
for sure.
Even better. So yeah. So I'll wait till he, like I said, he's turned 18 in September. So
Yeah.
Sounds
What
good.
if he comes back from hanging out with them? He's like, no, screw the Air Force, man.
He's like, I am no longer a virgin.
Like, look at this Air Force crap.
And life has so much more meaning.
I could go to UT and do this every weekend.
He can do it in the military and do that every weekend.
Well, maybe.
After
It
boot
is the Air Force. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
You know, have it a little easier than Coast Guard.
Oh,
but
fuck.
Still.
Yeah, not much.
Anyway. Oh my God.
Yeah, I will absolutely have him go out with you on a weekend.
Okay.
You should send him with her tomorrow. She's going with another friend of hers to Nashville to get on a boat.
Well, I feel like the 18 is the key line there.
That's definitely the key.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, bonus points if you can somehow find a way to let him see boobs. So
Okay,
that would be
cool.
bonus
Not
points.
yours.
I was gonna say not mine,
yours. Not yours.
but-
No.
I definitely could, no doubt.
He's
Probably a little more
18.
than
He
that.
can get into a strip club. He's 18.
It doesn't matter.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess depends on the club.
All right. Bet. as they say.
As they say. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
So you have wanted to have her on for a while.
Yeah.
Um,
I was
So-
not prepared, so I have nothing in mind now.
really?
I mostly just
Alrighty.
wanted to ask you questions about his failures as a father. That was
Yeah, go
Okay.
for it.
that was all I want to ask.
Go
but
for it.
I don't have any specific things in mind now.
Ask about my failures as a father. You asked
Do you-
Gabe.
do you
I think-
have-
I
do
feel
you
like
have a
you
list?
asked
I
that.
know. What were Gabe's? I need some examples.
I don't think Gabe gave a whole lot
Juices
of
flowing.
examples either.
No, he didn't give a lot.
The worst thing Gabe's ever said about it is that he's lived a whitewashed life.
That's true.
True. As have I. But
Yeah.
what do you expect?
Yeah, I mean, mother as white as my wife
I think she's
is.
a bit whiter.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
See, your mom's one of those people that she'll talk shit and say how much she hates me until she starts drinking, and then I'm one of her favorite people in the world.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The
Same
first-
with me, actually. But it
Yeah.
might be reversed.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
fair. No, it's funny. Like the only time, I'll get texts from Krista if you guys have been drinking, and she'll be
Yeah.
like, I'm so glad you enjoy your friends. I'm like,
Yeah.
It's
Well,
so weird.
that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
You just take some time out of his day, so they're separated.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think she likes it.
That's fair.
That's true.
Ah,
But every time I say every week she acts like she forgets we do a podcast on Saturday
right.
night.
Well, she tries to forget that we do a
Because I
podcast on
say
Saturday.
Steven's gonna be here about 7:30. She's like, I forgot. Like, how do you forget? This has been 2 years.
Yeah, but how much of a cliche is it that we're two 40-year-old dudes doing a podcast? It's sad, right?
Yeah. I think, my friends' reactions anytime I'm like, yeah, my dad has a podcast. They're like, it's either, oh, your dad? And I'm like, yes, my dad and
Yeah.
his best friend, actually.
Which is even more
Yeah,
sad.
that's even
Yeah,
more
really.
weird. They're like, are you sure they're just friends? And I'm like, no, they're not. I'm sure they're not just friends, actually.
We've had more than one person
Yeah.
say that.
Well, yeah, it's the new. I've said it a million times. Like I do a podcast is the new. You want to hear my mixtape?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the new thing.
Yeah,
So,
I don't tell many people at all.
I don't either. Honestly,
because of that.
Yeah. Eventually, it gets to the point where when someone's like, "What are you doing this weekend?" I was like, "Well, I hang out with Buddy. He comes over every weekend, and we drink,
we do things.
we drink,
we
hang
drink
out
and
in
do
my
things.
basement and do things." And eventually, you have to go.
It's a podcast.
Okay, I do a podcast.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
what about
Great
crime.
question.
true crime?"
True crime. It is funny to me though that pretty much the only people that that have listened have been ex-boyfriends. And
Yeah.
I feel like it's because they're seeking out to know more about him, to either get approval or to know more or whatever.
Not approval, but kind of a why didn't I get approval? Yeah.
That makes sense because we will talk about it.
You know what's funny is like I've talked very little about any of her exes on here. So it's
Yeah.
like, if anything, that's more heartbreaking to them because it's like, wow, he doesn't even think enough about me to shit on me on this podcast.
No.
Oh God, who's watching this
I
right
don't
now?
fucking know. Maybe Amanda.
Amanda, maybe.
Possible.
Okay,
Possible.
all right. Well, good.
Back to back, man.
If this had been planned, you might have some of her friends trying to ask
Oh,
questions about
man.
her.
You're
Yeah.
right.
you
They're
should send, you
probably-
should
it
send a
out.
text.
They're probably
Or
all
a tweet.
asleep.
It doesn't matter.
What 20-year-old is asleep at 11:10 on a Saturday night?
I have like a total of 3
before
friends.
the 4th of July.
So-
I have a total of one.
And also, that's the thing. It's a Saturday night before the 4th of July. They're having a good time.
Ah,
Not that
Okay.
I'm not.
No,
but you know.
you're not. It's fine. We're not either. So I think the greatest compliment that Olivia has ever given me was, it's been a few weeks now. When I was over it, I was wearing flip-flops and she was like, "You're like the creepy uncle that no one wants."
It's
Type
been a
of
few
shit.
weeks. It's been a few months.
Oh, it's been a few months. I don't
Yeah.
fucking know.
Yeah.
It all blends together. But that meant a lot to me.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that.
So I want to know something, and I'm trying to mark the time here. It's at 10 minutes
Yep.
ish because I'm going to use this as an audio clip this week.
Okay.
We had a guy on the show several months ago, Hunter.
Oh God, that was so good.
And after the episode was over, he's standing outside, and I go upstairs and I tell you and your mom, we just finished with Hunter, and Hunter said, if you were down here, he would hit on you.
Yeah.
And so you said, all right. And you got up and you came down here.
Mhm.
And he froze.
Oh, it's
Yes.
magical.
How, in your mind, how did that situation go? Because Hunter has a very serious girlfriend now, and I cannot wait to release this audio and tag him and maybe her in it.
That'd be wonderful.
I don't recall knowing that he said he would hit on me.
Okay.
I remember you saying that there was a guy down here, and I was like, "Ooh, attention!" And so I came downstairs.
God, not from him.
But then exactly. Then I
Yeah.
got down here, I saw him, and I said, "Oh." Then he didn't say anything. He just kind of stood there,
Yeah,
and I was
that's-
like,
yeah.
"Were you on the podcast? Did you
Yes,
speak?"
he was, yeah, and he spoke. Yes, yeah.
No. That's how it played out in my head. It was like, "Oh, mm."
Well, no, he was standing over there and he had that deer in the headlights. You know,
That's
like he
it.
wouldn't
Yeah.
say anything, and I was nudging him. I was like, "Say something, dude."
Which that
Say something."
almost fulfilled what I needed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, okay. I'm gonna go to bed now." And I'm gonna sleep good.
Yeah, but I was after you went back in. I was like, "Oh, you little bitch."
He used to have an OnlyFans.
Yeah, he did. He did have an OnlyFans that I accidentally stumbled across on Twitter.
Yeah, but you purposely subscribed to it.
Yes, I did, and it was worth that $5. God damn it!
What was the rating? What do you give it?
Depends on what you're rating.
Depends on what you're rating. Yeah.
What was his
that's what I'm
OnlyFans
rating.
name?
It wasn't much different than his regular name, and that's how he's
Oh.
like, "How did you find this?" I was like, "Because it's
He
there's
used
like
his
the
same email
people you may
address.
know on my Twitter feed." It was the
With his
same-
first and last name? Like,
Yeah, more or less, more or less.
Probably something.
Well, I
like that.
thought it was he made just a separate account, and then I opened. I noticed his profile picture was like a picture of him from just below the waist up, like that type of
Yeah,
thing.
so you
Mhm.
found it because Twitter recommended people you may know,
Right.
and it was his
Yes.
it was his OnlyFans Twitter account,
Yeah.
and he used the same email address.
I'm pretty
I
sure most
understand.
of his subscribers were dudes. They
Oh,
had to
they
be,
have to be.
if he had any.
I mean,
I was-
whatever.
I
I
was-
don't care.
I was one of them
whatever. If
for
he's
like a
making
month.
money on it, fine. But he didn't make a lot of
Yeah.
money on it. I think he made your $5.
Probably, but it was a $5 well spent.
Sure.
Yeah.
it was. I'll give you that. Yeah. I mean, whatever, dude.
Fuck Hunter,
Congrats.
though. Right, man.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, that was worth every bit of. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So
Thank you for
You're
being on.
welcome.
Yeah,
All right, fine. He doesn't have any questions lined up. So then I got questions about him.
oh shit.
Then,
okay.
as someone who's been in your life, most of your life, that you're not related to, but you probably see more than most everyone else in your family. Tell me about Steven.
I always introduce Steven as my uncle, or if I'm talking, I'm like, my dad and my uncle have a podcast, and it's always, "Oh, really interesting." And I'm like, "Well, they're not really related. and they're just best friends." And so,
We are
That's
related in
kind
the
of-
eyes of God.
yeah.
That's right.
And then that's when it's like, is it more? Is just friends? It's- no, not just friends, but it's
Yeah.
okay. You know, you gotta sneak out of the bounds sometimes. But I don't know. Other than that, I mean, I think being mostly the only female around for a lot of time, I can just come back with anything, and I don't want to say I don't fit in with girls because I have girlfriends, but it's like completely different lookout. Like my humor is different and everything, and I definitely think that this shaped that. Unfortunately and
but in
fortunately.
all fairness, I have edited heavily around you until like the last couple of years, so you've been pretty
Yeah.
much grown. Yeah, but the same thing with the other kids. Like it was really weird for me to cuss around even Gabe until he was older.
Well, I told Will, my brother Will, like once the kids all hit, each time one of them hit 16, I was like, they're 16 years old. They hear worse than anything you're going to say.
They
at
say
school.
worse
So,
than what you're.
yeah. So it's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
but
I still think one of my favorite memories of Olivia, and I think you were 15. We did the pickleback in Joey's
Oh,
kitchen.
yeah.
We told
I
that
don't
story
think she
more
was
than
15. I
once.
think she was younger than 15.
Yeah, I think I was like 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
But I somehow talked you into letting her take one, and she just fucking threw that shit back. Didn't even flinch. I was like, oh, she's had these before.
I will tell you, I hadn't
Right.
But I was like, you have to make an impression. You have to do this. And then I walked into my room afterwards and I was like,
So
it freaked your mom out. Like, I shit you not. She was like,
Perfect.
what the hell?
yeah.
perfect.
Like,
It was-
death glare for me. I had full on daggers in my soul from Krista.
You think so?
Yes.
Well, I'm sure she blamed me though.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember that too. And that's like part of me was like proud, and the part of me was like, oof, college maybe maybe testy.
Yeah. Well, also, but I gave you a bong for your 18th birthday?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. I still have
Graduation,
it. I use
that's
it
what
as
it
a
was.
flower vase.
Mm.
Mhm.
She's
I've always tried to be a good influence on your
I know
kids.
you have, and that's fine. I don't care.
Tried. Succeeded. Different question.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's all right. I ran out of time, and I was going to bring edibles back for my other two kids and you from California this week, and I didn't.
I
I
would
just
have been
didn't get to.
grateful.
It's just
Would
a
you have
little
mailed
bit
them,
of
or
concern.
would you have flown with them?
I would have put them in my check bag.
Really?
Probably, but
I would have mailed them.
yeah, that's extra time.
That's fair.
So anyway,
I think Tennessee and Alabama will be two of the last states, and Mississippi.
Alabama
to
just
legalize.
recently approved medical,
Yeah,
which
which
is
crazy.
a step in the right direction, right? You know you're behind when Alabama's approving things before you.
Yeah,
So,
Virginia just approved, like as of today, I think, or July 1st. That was yesterday, right?
yeah, but Virginia's got mountain people.
That's true.
Right.
But still, I mean, they're a pretty
No, I got
conservative
you.
state. But I wonder, like, I'm on board with legalization for sure.
Sure.
How do you feel about legalization?
I don't care. I don't care about many things, but that's one thing where I'm like, do what you want.
Yep.
I don't really care.
It's not
Not my
hurting
thing.
anyone else.
Yeah. Now, I had the conversation with Lyric a couple weeks ago because she was asking me about some shit. She's almost 13. She's around people. I was like, yeah, it's like drugs are like weed's weed. Like, it's a plant. And I was like, the issue with it is it's illegal. And if you get caught with it, there's fucking legal ramifications. I was like,
So you say it's a plant, but what about all of the hybrid stuff that have been grafted and things like that is like way stronger than
it's
anything?
all plant.
Yeah, sure, it is still a plant, but if you really boil it down like that, so is cocaine.
No, because cocaine's cut with other chemicals. It's not bred with other plants.
Real
It's not
cocaine's not
pure.
cut with other chemicals.
Yeah. Well, it's still to get into a powder form. It absolutely is. It's not just pure coca leaf.
I don't think it's cut with chemicals though.
Yeah.
Okay.
To get to the powdery cocaine happiness, it absolutely is.
Okay.
It's processed. Because otherwise it would just be pure coca leaf, which doesn't have near the potency of coke.
Okay.
And I might be wrong. I'm not a cocaine expert.
So an interesting thing happened.
But like shrooms, fucking 100%
Yeah.
plant. Eat that shit.
So an interesting, well, she said it's not her thing. Weed's not. Have you ever had weed? You ever tried weed
Mhm.
before? I didn't know that. See, just this news
It
for
was
me.
very recently.
When? Vacation?
See, the first
After vacation?
Before.
Oh, okay.
I'll go and say the
With
first
Gabe?
time.
Yeah.
First
Yeah, that's
time,
what I figured.
it takes at least twice to
I had
process.
an okay time, but I was definitely like my
Was it weed or
face-
was it Delta 8?
It was weed.
Oh, okay.
My face felt like static noise.
Yeah.
And they made me watch some weird Netflix skit show, and it didn't make sense,
Is it
and it
that?
got worse.
I think you should leave.
Probably.
Or Aunt whatever it is.
Aunt
Have fun house.
Aunt
It's-
Jemima's.
It's
And-
so great.
I ate
Yeah.
2 whole bags of like tortilla chips.
Yeah.
Like
Did you
family
stay over
size.
there?
Okay,
Or did
so
you
you
come
got-
home?
Stayed over there.
Because the first time I smoked, I didn't get shit out of it. Like, it took a good twice, but I don't like it. It gives me a fucking headache, and I'm just worthless. Like, I
I
don't.
slept like a baby.
Yeah,
though.
he sleeps so fucking good though. No hangover either.
Yeah.
I
But
don't get hungover.
really lucky.
Yep.
The older I get, the worse I get hungover. Like, I'll have a headache. I'll have a headache when I wake up in the morning from this. It's not really a hangover, so to speak, but my head fucking kills me when
I
I wake
won't
up.
have a headache, but I'll be more tired than normal.
You're always tired.
I am always tired.
Yeah.
I do everything.
So do I.
Whoa.
I'm just saying, like,
Let's be humble.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, my wife's on disability. It's like I'm not sliding her. I'm not sliding her. I'm just saying, like, if something gets cooked and I'm home, I'm the one that cooks it.
She has
I
disability
deal with
for
the
that,
dogs
for
and
that
things like that.
gluten allergy.
No, she's no. I'm just. It's.
You get a check for just drinking
I'm just
Tito's.
gonna keep my mouth shut now.
This past
I'm gonna
week, though,
stop
let me
this.
tell you, she was making dinner.
I
doing the
said that
dishes,
to her on the phone yesterday. I was like,
cleaning.
"What is it about me being gone that makes you get up and like start
Because
cleaning
you fucking have
things?"
to.
She was like, "I don't think it has anything to do with you being gone. I think it's." She said, "I think it's more of like my independence. Like I feel like I need to, like, flex my independence or whatever."
Okay.
Feel
Which
free
is
to.
because you're gone.
I guess I don't know. Like, but
That's fair.
Whatever.
I give Krista shit, but you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
I just noticed a shot glass in front of her.
I took a shot of Coke.
Oh,
Did you?
Yeah.
I got you.
What did he give? It's past the point
He's
now.
he's blaming me.
What did he give you a shot of? Bourbon?
Nothing. You can smell it.
Oh, I don't care. I don't
Okay.
remember seeing that there earlier. That's fine.
It was like
whatever.
right over here.
Ah, okay. Fine. Whatever. So what I was going to say just a moment ago before I found out that my daughter was a pothead.
Before she
I'm just
smokes
completing the Trinity.
the marijuana
That's-
We
cigarettes.
all gotta
whatever.
get
Like,
there.
I didn't know on vacation like that she was vaping. She was, I guess, nicotine or whatever has happened over the last year or so. I didn't know that on vacation. So
Switch to vaping. Do you actually smoke?
I have smoked, but vaping.
didn't
mostly.
know that either.
Not like
Smoking's way better than vaping.
consistently. Never had my own pack or anything. Just like
I'm just gonna go ahead and say
Constantly bumming off people.
smoking. Yeah, you're one of those people. But smoking looks way cooler than vaping. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
No, I'll be the
does.
first to admit it absolutely does look.
Yeah.
Look, it look. That's why anyone starts smoking when they're a teenager, because it
Yeah.
looks cool. It makes you look older, makes you look like you know what you're doing. That's why I started at 12.
Right.
I said that to somebody the other day. I was like, it's still hard for me not to smoke a cigarette if there's cigarettes.
See,
around.
I started smoking specifically to get more time away from work.
And it makes sense, especially if you're in the military. Like you get smoke breaks like crazy.
Yeah, like, and because I went out one time with the chief and like all the senior guys and was hanging out because they were out there taking a break smoking, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm coming to hang out." They're like, "Oh no, you don't smoke. Get the fuck back inside." After work that day, I went out and bought a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
And the very next day, I was like, "Fuck this, I'm smoking."
So do you remember at my bachelor party?
No,
So
I
I
don't.
had some gas station cigars. Why is Siri talking to me? Anyway, I bought some gas station cigars because
Okay.
I thought it's celebration, whatever. And like Joe was like anti. Jordan was like, take it or leave it. And you were like, hell yeah, I'll go out and smoke with you.
Yeah.
So we did.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't remember any of that.
Do you not?
No.
Really? We sat in Joe's house that they were fixing to move into and played music all night
I
long.
remember that. Was that your bachelor thing?
That was the
Fuck, I don't remember. You can put it in
bachelor
quote, unquote.
party.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's shaking her head.
I can't
was-
imagine.
Oh,
talking
it
to-
was bad. If you could put a camera back and it was stupid.
I was talking to some people. We were out to dinner the other night when I was in Sacramento for work. And the guy was like, yeah, I got married young. And I was like, how young?
Unless it
And
was
he said-
14, you shut the
He
fuck
said
up.
22. And I was like, well, I've got you beat. He
Yeah.
said, how old are you? I said, 18. I turned 19 a month later.
Yeah.
I said, I had 3 kids before I was old enough to drink.
That's
And
fucking
they're
crazy to me.
blown away.
Yeah.
Blown away.
I've known you for that. and
They're
I'm
blown
by it.
away that happened. They're also blown away that I'm still married.
Yeah. that
Getting
too.
married that young and still because we didn't try to get divorced at one point or another. But
Right.
know,
It's crazy,
whatever.
man.
anyway,
Yeah, like so your ones lasted longer than my 3 combined.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But in
So-
all fairness, for me though, I mean it's pre-diagnosis, pre-medication. So that's that, and I'm like, not many people can put up with me.
but you were into the Lord.
I
back
was into
then
the Lord, very into the Lord.
until he kicked you out of the church.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
my
did
God.
not get the happy ending from that relationship.
No, for
That
sure.
is sure.
So,
Jesus broke my heart.
let,
Okay, I was gonna
Go
say
ahead.
like, but are you still pretty heavily into? Because I know for a while you've gone off and on over the years as
Mhm.
far as the church thing goes. Are you pretty heavily in
Yeah.
still?
I would say so.
she has a healthy relationship with.
Yeah.
with-
No, I'm not bagging on that.
our
I'm just
Lord and
I'm just
Savior.
curious. Well, because I feel like that you're coming out of a place that's a hell of a lot healthier than we were in because of your
Yeah.
parents and where they came out of. I feel like that's put you at an advantage to see through some of the bullshit and see the positive stuff that's in there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I know. So at my like past church, a lot of bullshit was happening and I could see it
Mhm.
before. And now, not saying that anyone there like excommunicated me, but
Right.
you know, they kind of do the passive aggressive thing where you're not
Which church is this?
North Star.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a past church now.
Yeah. Where you're not invited to things, not
Yeah.
responded to, like just
Interesting.
ghosted,
Yeah.
basically.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with it now because like you said, I've seen my parents and what they've gone through, so I have like a different outlook on it.
Right.
And I was just kind of like, okay, bye.
Yeah. So the last experience I had was in Huntsville, actually, and Amanda wanted to kind of get back into church. And I was like, okay, that's like, we can do that. That's fine. Like I can, if it's not like a traditional, like a non-denominational
You're
church,
not fundamental Baptist?
no, goddamn. But I can get back on board with a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I can put up with it,
Yeah.
whatever. Because especially for community and having friendships and all that stuff, and all that's more important to Amanda than it is for me.
Sure.
So we got back into it, and they had a lot of small groups because small groups are, whatever. And in one, like people, they were pretty cool. Like I say pretty cool. Like I didn't hate anyone, and she got along with some of the people there. And then we moved across town, and they're all location based. And basically, after we moved, they're like, "Nah, y'all can't come here anymore." Like, nah. And we're like, "But we have our relationships here." It's like, "No, you have to go to this one because it's over there." And we were like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, nah, can't be here." And we were like, "The fuck?" Like that's some crazy shit, man. But I mean, it didn't surprise me,
great.
but I think it hit her a little harder. But it was still like that's some bullshit, man. So,
Yeah.
like I said, Clayton is one of the few people that I still have like utmost respect for in the church.
Absolutely. If I lived in Nashville, I would go. I don't go to church at all, but I would go to Clayton's church.
Yeah, and I'm not bagging on you at all, for
Don't
sure.
feel that way.
Yeah,
at
I'm
all.
just.
Yeah.
I'm a little more jaded than a lot. I shouldn't say most, but then a lot. But,
yeah.
So do you know and it's become kind of I say a buzzword because I've noticed it a lot more in the last couple of years, but the whole deconstruction term.
Loosely.
Yeah. So there's this whole thing of people that were ex-evangelicals, and they say, well, we're deconstructing, meaning they've been disenfranchised from the church, and they still believe in God or Jesus or whatever, but they've kind
of a lot of Five Iron Frenzy fans in that group,
right? But they're breaking down their belief system to the kind of what really matters to them and kind of rebuilding, right? So deconstruction. And but the funny thing is because we've been in and out of church for so long, I can watch this happening, and it's becoming its own like Christian sect in its own right. And like they just basically a bunch of people that like have buyer's remorse for buying into shit for so long, and now they're just fucking mad and like, well, we still love Jesus, but fuck all you assholes.
But they also proselytize on a different level now.
Yeah. It's like, well, if you're into church and you're like really love Jesus, then you're stupid and you need to fucking break free from that, which is its own.
Don't be held bondage by the church.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me. And like my whole thing is, and this is with any religion, like if it helps you make sense of the world and it helps you be a better person, then I'm 100% on board with it. But when you start becoming a dick because of your belief system, then you're automatically ostracized.
And I think now knowing that you consider that to be your ex-church or whatever, I think that's part of your issue is like ostracizing people and judgment. So anyway.
Which the irony of that is we're all, some of the most judgmental people I know, but in a good way.
Yeah. In a self-defense way.
Yeah. But I feel like though, you like the same, like you'll give somebody a chance, like at least initially, like doesn't matter my initial opinion of you. Like I'll give you this baseline of respect and then you can stay on this side of it or you can walk across it.
Definitely.
It's your decision at that point. I'll give you a chance. Like I always joke about
anybody at first though. I'll be respectful, but I don't like anyone at first.
See, I would say I don't like people, but I'm really good. Like I can usually get a read on somebody in the first 5 minutes of knowing them.
I feel like I'm similar to that, but I don't. I guess I shouldn't say I don't like them. I'm neutral on people at first.
That's fair.
I'm neutral.
I think I try to like someone at first, and I convince myself that I do, and then I go through this weird phase where I'm like, nope, can't do that, and then I come back later and I'm like, okay, maybe you should calm down and like give people a chance.
Yeah.
Well, you give take Kelsey, Gabe's girlfriend, Kelsey. We love Kelsey. Like she's been on here once or twice and she's great. And I've hung out with Kelsey a lot and she's great. I really do like Kelsey a lot. But Gabe warned her ahead of time before they hung out with us. Like, hey, we all are mean to each other, but if anyone else is mean to us, we're the first ones to come to each other's defense. So, and we all talk loud and over the top of each other. So be ready for it. And Kelsey grew up as an only child she's a Navy brat, as a Gabe called her. And so I asked her one time, like, what was it like? And she was like, it was intense, like being around you guys for the first time. But now she just kind of falls right in and says whatever, does whatever. Yeah. So
I can't say like at my point in my life now, if I'd have met all of you guys and hung out like as an adult, I'd be like, no, fuck these people. This shit's terrible. But But I've gotten more sensitive to that, like much noise and ambient energy. Like I can't fucking handle it anymore. Like even now, like I love you guys independently. I'll hang out like this. I'll come over and chill with you. Like if we're all on the back porch, fine. But like I could not come over for like a big family thing. Like I couldn't.
Oh
fucking handle
yeah,
it. It would,
I wouldn't
would,
invite you.
I was gonna say,
if
you
there were
wouldn't be
extended
invited.
family,
I know.
if
that,
extended family was here, I wouldn't
well, no,
invite
well,
you
like
because I know that
the
you
last time I
wouldn't enjoy
came over though, with your family because your mom was here, your stepdad,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
like you, Olivia, I think, and Matthew, and it was a lot for me. Like it was, I was fucking.
And I wouldn't
white
invite you
knuckling
for
most of
anything
that.
like that
Right.
anymore.
Yeah.
If it was just the
And I
five of us or
right.
the five of us and Kelsey or whatever,
Right.
then yeah.
And say what you want. I know for a fact it's not because I'm not welcome, but it's like I won't enjoy being here,
Yeah,
and
that's
you would
why.
rather have the family.
That's why, because it makes it awkward for me, and
Yeah.
whatever.
It's
Think
a
about myself.
lot different though when extended family is around.
Yeah.
Because I mean we're even different. Like with your mom and
We're not
stepdad
quite as
around.
mean.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We watch our language a little bit.
lot more filtered.
Yeah. And I'm uncomfortable filtering around people that aren't my family, which is I shouldn't say uncomfortable. I don't like doing it. I will if I have to.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was super weird for me, like not filtering around you guys. And I even now a little bit, I filter a little bit around you.
I do around her,
Right.
but not as much around the boys.
No, I don't edit it all around Gabe. Fuck him.
Well, I don't edit it all around Gabe or Matthew,
Well,
but I do a little more around
out of your kids. Matthew is the one I don't have any kind of relationship with. Like I don't know him that well at all. Like we interact. Like I'm not like.
I think we all feel the same way.
I was gonna say I think that's just
that's standard.
the theme of his life.
That's him, but I think he has purposely set it up that way.
Yeah, no, I got you. Well, it's like we had this conversation before, but like with Eli, like he's so self-isolating with things, and we were having this conversation the other day about things he wanted to do, and he's having a hard time grasping that you're putting yourself, like you're setting yourself in this cycle. Like you don't want to be around people, but you want to be around people, but then you feel like shitty and you feel like you're better than people. So it's this whole fucking thing that like, if you would just fucking pull your head out of your ass and spend some time, like it would
Quit
be good for
listening
you.
to jazz.
No, it's kind of that like you put yourself in that position and you keep yourself there. Like you can choose to come out of it or choose to stay in it, but it's like anything else.
Well, yeah. I
mean, like to me, you don't earn the right to be self-isolating and assholey until life has kicked the shit out of you a few times, and you can be like, nah, I don't care.
Right. I don't know.
Like I've earned the right to be this bitter and angry.
I saw a meme the other day that was it said, "Dear 30-year-olds complaining about life, how hard life is. You've merely felt the tip of its dick."
That seems accurate.
So,
like, and the thing is, like, there's always people that have had it worse, and across the board, right? I mean, there's people that have grown up as a kid in just the worst of conditions and that come out being okay. And I think as parents, you worry about your kids like just being pieces of shit, and then like I have to take a break sometimes. Like, okay, I've never burned with kids my kids with cigarettes. Like they've never been like chained to a bed for right.
Oh.
They've never been chained to a bed for weeks on end with no food. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. Like I've never let my uncles fuck them. Like there's this whole thing that whereas, okay, there's kids that have gone through way worse that turn out like okay. And so, me being a shitty absentee dad, they stand a pretty good chance.
Absentee.
No, but like because I as a parent, like I don't want my kids to turn out like me. Fuck that.
So you have your kids this weekend?
Yeah.
But you didn't have them Father's Day weekend.
No.
But you have them 4th of July weekend. Is that because you're a military guy?
Because I want to honor my country, my children. No, I don't know how it just worked out that way. But I don't give a shit about Father's Day or any other holidays like that.
So I
meaningless.
I almost bought a shirt today that said "Pride in the red, white, and blue" to wear tonight, just to irritate you.
It wouldn't have irritated me.
And then I saw another one that was just
because
a bald eagle head with a American flag bandana around its head, and I almost bought it for Olivia. And I was telling her earlier, and she goes, "I actually have a shirt very similar to that."
Nice. I have a black and white American flag tank top that I love to wear.
So she's oddly patriotic when it comes to 4th of July and things like that. She's I took
why?
I don't know.
Okay.
It makes me feel good. I wake up on the 4th of July and I'm like, hell yeah, let's go.
I met her and one of her friends downtown for the fireworks show a few years ago, and then drove them to their car. And it's when I'm driving through downtown Knoxville, she rolled all the windows down and she was blaring "Born in the USA" and stuff like that. Like that. She's oddly patriotic on 4th of July.
Just on the 4th of July, though.
Not just on the 4th.
Okay.
Well,
Memorial Day?
more so on the 4th of July.
Patriotic.
That's the one that counts.
Throughout. But then the 4th of July, it's like a high. Like,
Okay.
It's like
we're
redneck.
up there.
It's like
Oh,
redneck
yeah.
level.
mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So
Going back to my roots.
no, this has got me intrigued though. So is it like legit patriotism? Like, are you proud to be? And I don't mean this
Define legit patriotism, though.
like truly proud to live in America and to be an American and proud of being in
No,
this
I would
country.
move out of America in a heartbeat if I could.
Okay.
To certain places.
Yeah. No, I got you.
I don't know what
Not
it is.
Africa.
I
White
really,
countries.
I really don't know what it is. I think, I don't know. Maybe it's just the energy.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that makes sense. I was curious if it's like because you don't come across as being super political to me, like a little apolitical. Like you have your opinions on shit,
Yeah.
but you're not super hyped up in politics. So that was very interesting that you have some patriotic leanings.
There's a hidden redneck inside her.
Well, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
big time.
Well,
Yeah.
she grew up in Pulaski.
Well, not just, but I'm talking like
hold on,
she
hold on,
had a
hold on,
flag
hold on,
hanging up her room with
Okay.
an AK-47 on it that said yee yee.
Yeah.
Fair enough. How do you say Pulaski?
Pulaski.
Thank you.
All right.
He
That's
says-
not that's
He says
incorrect.
Pulaski, and it
Pulaski.
drives me
But that's-
fucking crazy.
Yeah, but that's incorrect. It's Pulaski is correct.
I think that like however many people are in that town would argue with you.
No, I got it, but they're all wrong.
Okay.
I'm not saying that the way I say it is the way that most people say it. I'm saying that the way I say it is the correct way to say it. That's all I'm
But
saying.
you don't say Fayetteville.
No, but I don't say Fedville either.
Fayetteville.
I don't say Fedville like Fedvi.
But you'll say Huntsville.
No, I say Huntsville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And I don't say Maryville, but I don't say Merville either.
Why Pulaski and not Pulaski?
Because that's not how it's pronounced.
Okay.
It's someone's
how-
name.
Whose name?
Casimir Pulaski.
Okay. Was he the head of the KKK?
No, he was a
Okay.
count.
A count?
Yes, he was a
Okay.
Polish count.
Okay.
Count Casimir
Fucking
Pulaski.
Polish people. They
I'm
ruined
telling you.
fucking everything.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Pulaski sucks. I was telling my brother-in-law recently, I was like,
Do you like
I hate
Pulaski going back
No.
home? No.
I hate it because it seems like time slows down and
Yeah.
everything's backwards. And my brother-in-law said, I know, and that's why I like it, because it seems like time slows down.
Well, I feel like that's why like my family loves Fayetteville, like growing up there and everything. Like my dad moved back, like after
Yeah.
living all over the fucking United States, we moved back to Fayetteville.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why I came back. I mean, granted, Amanda was from like Huntsville, Decatur area, in Texas, but she was living here. It's why one of the reasons we came back. But also, mom and dad were getting older and having trouble with the farm and shit a little bit. Obviously, I got
Do
over
they
that
sell
pretty
the
quick.
farm?
No, they still have it.
Oh.
But obviously, I got over that pretty quick and I took a job making more money here. That's
Right.
basically what it boiled down to. But
Yeah.
I'm still back in the South, which it works out because we got the podcast. But I kind of hate living in the South. Like I really do. Like I've gotten to the point where
I would like to retire in a South American country.
really I'm European. We're planning on
I'm not.
we're full on planning like either Italy or like
Yeah, there are parts
rural
of
France.
There
is
are
our
parts of
plan.
Italy. I would not France, but there are parts of Italy
Why
and
not
some of
France?
those other countries. Because I don't know, they're weak. No, there are parts of Italy I would retire
Yeah.
to, but I think more like Panama and some of those things, some of those areas like that where the American dollar goes a long way,
Mhm.
and you could have like a little beachside
Yeah.
cabana and sell pina coladas and make enough money to live.
That's fair. Honestly, I've looked in some Asian countries too. Like Vietnam is gorgeous and it's cheap as shit to live there.
That's true.
So
But I don't know.
I would love to live in like Australia or New Zealand.
we know a guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Josh.
Josh Dunn. Yeah,
Josh Dunn.
he does I think he does some training like exercise training stuff,
know.
but also like he's involved in some kind of
Cult?
like I think he's involved in some kind of like vegetable like produce selling, like growing vegetables.
I just
something
lost
like
respect for him, then that's stupid.
I'm not sure. I just know I've seen stuff that looks like that. That looks like he's
What?
involved. No, I've seen photos
No,
of
no.
him that looks like he's involved in some kind of like.
How do you know he's just not likes vegetables?
He just has a
Because
Right.
it could be, but I mean, but it looked like he was selling
'Cause
stuff.
I don't think I've ever looked at a photograph and be like, you know what? I think that guy's into vegetables.
No. He looked like he was in the process of trying to sell stuff. is what I'm
farmer's
saying.
market.
Right? Like he grows vegetables and sells them at a farmer's market.
Okay. That would have
It
been much
sounded
easier to
so
spit out.
formal though.
Yeah.
Like
No, I
He's
got you,
just
but I don't know
like
how.
a
I don't-
pyramid vegetable scheme or something.
right. Yes. No, that's it. That's it. You get 3 people to buy these tomatoes,
Right.
and you'll make some money on it.
But you have to buy the tomatoes first.
That's true.
You buy the
That's
tomatoes
true.
and sell them, and you give me
Oh my
percentage of
God.
those tomatoes.
Matthew's girlfriend, who I like, got caught up in a pyramid scheme recently.
I was hoping that someone was going to have this conversation because when we were talking about it in the car on the way to vacation, I was like, is no one going to say?
No, me and your mom
what we
had
were
already
thinking.
talked about it at that point and said it's a pyramid scheme and we'll let them figure it out.
Yeah.
Like let them make their own mistakes.
Which one
kind
is
of
it?
thing. What's Matthew?
No, which pyramid scheme?
Oh,
It's
it
like
had
coffee.
it's some kind of coffee that's like fat burning.
Okay, because I was saying there's a lot of essential oils. When there was a
No.
CBD,
It's
there's
not
that-
Mary Kay. It's not Avon.
LuLaRoe.
It's not. It's not that
I
either.
saw, what are the pink cars? A Mary Kay car?
Mary
yeah,
Kay.
Mary Kay.
I saw one of those the other day and I had a moment of just
Jordan's mom
fear.
Yeah,
had the Mary Kay car.
and she made great money doing it for a long time. Got a free car and everything. Like there are some pyramid schemes that people actually are successful at, but then there's still a pyramid scheme.
No, for sure. Well, especially in their early stages, like if you're in the early game, yeah, for sure. But the more it expands, the less you make, and that's the whole beauty of the pyramid scheme. Because at the top, you're
That's
still
what-
making all the fucking
Yeah,
money.
that's what I was gonna say. Anytime you get into a business and you have to buy a product up front, just know you're in a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, I mean it's essentially it's a virus, right? Because it starts off one small thing and it slowly spreads. It's fucking crazy. to
I
me.
had some cousins that got caught up in something before, and I can't think of what it's called. It's not Avon, it's not Mary Kay or anything, but I can't remember.
Was it
what
31?
No,
Bags? Cincy.
no, it's not. No, it's none of
I
them.
know them.
It's none of them. No, I can't remember what it was. But anyway,
Yeah.
regardless.
All right.
So
If you could look back and critique one thing that he could do better as a father, what would you choose?
Don't cry in front of me multiple times.
interesting. Nice. I'm trying to think of when I cried in front of
There
her,
was
but I'm
one
sure that
time
there's
that-
multiple times.
You and mom had got in an argument. We had to go down the road and stay with her friend Danielle. She was dating
Oh,
her.
I remember that. That had to do with one of my sisters living.
Oh,
with
yeah,
us.
yeah, yeah. But I just remember hearing a knock at the door, pulling back the blinds, and my dad sobbing. And I'm still marked.
That's fair.
The mark on the beast. Yeah. No, that's interesting. That's something I've asked all three kids multiple times, like if there's anything you could change about the way you were raised or whatever, what would it be? And that's
Have a
never
different father.
that's never that's never come up yet. That
That's
whole
interesting.
crying thing has never come up yet.
My dream is for them to say, like, I wish Steven was my real dad.
I will say this on most of the time on Father's Day, she writes me a letter.
That's sweet.
It's the best gift I ever get.
You've got a
anytime,
spider
ever.
on your hat.
I
Do
was
I
gonna say-
really?
I think it's a fly.
Maybe
but
a
yeah.
fly. I like to tell them it's a spider, though. It's way better.
I'm slow. I've slowly gotten not quite as bad about it. Is it still there? Well, I'm just gonna make sure I
No,
got
it's
it.
not.
But
It's
yeah.
fine.
Anyway, she writes me a letter on most Father's Days, and
Aw.
it's always yeah. No, I'll get one. You mean go read it?
No, I don't care.
Just,
Does it-
I'll do a dramatic reading.
Does it make you cry every Father's Day?
Most of the time, it makes me tear up. This past Father's Day, it didn't because
Bitch.
I was because in the middle of reading it, I was rushed to get out the door.
I
Okay.
knew that you were in the middle of reading it too, and I was like, damn. I was like,
She-
she's got to ruin every
Yeah,
Yeah,
moment.
she rushed me out the door.
Do you now like write it with the intent on like knowing that it's going to
That's
be
always the intent. I want tears. I don't want to see them though.
right?
But
no,
that's
absolutely.
the thing is like the two of us have for most of her, I don't want to say adult life, but for most of like, I don't know, teenage life on
Mhm.
it, holidays and things like that's what we've done. We've written each
Yeah.
other letters. Like we gave her a camera because she was really into photography one
Right.
time, and I wrote her a 3-page letter and put it in with a gift and
Jesus,
things like
that's
that.
so much effort.
Yeah, you do what you can for love.
Okay.
I mean, you do. That's
Okay.
just the thing.
Okay.
I mean,
Do you love getting the dad letters?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
see,
Maybe it's
Sometimes a holiday will go by, and I'm like, where's my letter? Where is it?
now I
Okay.
feel bad.
you should.
Yeah,
I know I should. I should. Yeah.
cry.
Yeah.
Right now, do it.
God, I will.
I
Give
keep
me a
those
minute.
expectations like down.
I know you
fucking
do.
here, man.
I know you do. Like maybe I'll come get you this weekend. Maybe I won't.
Oh fuck! I like full on like shaved Jude's head with a razor tonight before I came over here.
Was
Why?
that punishment? Like, would he get in trouble for something?
No, he's wanted.
okay.
He loves having his head shaved in the summer, partially because his mom fucking hates it, but he likes it because it's short. He's a boy, doesn't like it. But he's been like, Dad, can we just shave it bald, like down to skin? And I was like, yeah. And I've been like, his mom's like, no, don't fucking do it, don't do it. And I was like, oh, I'm
You
gonna,
shouldn't do that then.
why?
Because you guys should be in some form of agreement for you
Not
do
with
something
not
like
with
that.
hair. Fuck that.
What
I
if
think
it doesn't
you
grow
should.
back? I hope it doesn't grow back.
I think
I
it'd be
really
awesome.
hope it doesn't.
But no, I've been telling forever, like, yeah, we can. Yeah, but Jesse's unreasonable with his hair and
I
shit like that.
understand that, but still, there's got to be some form of compromise.
What's the difference between the shaved bald head and no? Because his hair would still be down to his fucking
and I would say to
nose.
her, you've got to compromise,
and she wouldn't. So I don't care. There aren't no like for the most part united front as far as like rules, structure, and shit like that. But as far as a haircut goes, no, he's a fucking little boy. I don't care. But he's been wanting this for like it wasn't just like he asked me a couple weeks ago. He's been for 2 years. He's asking me like every summer, can we shave a bald? Can we shave a bald? And I was like, all right. So I went to the store today. I mean, we shaved Buzz's head anyway, which his mom already hates, but like she's gonna hate it either way. And then so I went to the store and I bought a fucking like Gillette razor and some shaving cream, and I fucking stripped his ass like earlier today. He loves it so much.
Wait till he wakes up tomorrow with razor burn.
Right. I know. But I mean, honestly, it looks almost the same as just shaving with the one. Like you really because he's still got the little stubble, whatever. But oh man, he's so stoked about it.
How does it feel to
so
raise
happy.
a neo-Nazi?
Right? Oh, he does. Like he looks like a little Nazi, but he also told me, he goes, Dad, you think I can get free food now because I think I have cancer? And I was like, you probably. I told him,
put a beanie on him.
right? I'm gonna tell him
really.
or bandana. I said, dude, we'll sign you up for Make a Wish.
Eyeliner up under there.
I can finally meet Ryan Reynolds. Get him to Make a Wish, man.
Yeah, there you go. No, he's gonna request to meet Reese Roper.
Oh, fuck, I know. He likes the Aquabats now because of that conversation with Reese Roper.
Why?
Their Aquabats are a great fucking band. You can eat a dick.
All right, whatever. Here's the problem with the Aquabats. They never would break character.
Right.
I don't like that.
Why?
Because you're an adult. You're not from Aquabatopia or whatever they were called.
But that's your career. You make money off of this.
Yeah. How much money did they make?
They do it full time and they don't have to work a good bit.
Is it because they really maybe don't have any other skills?
It doesn't matter. They're great musicians and they make money doing it.
I won't argue with their great musicians.
If I never could break character and I just had to wear spandex like all the time, and that's how I made a living.
But they're not making a lot of money.
They're making enough to live on.
Are they?
Yes.
Or are they baristas during the week when they're not
full time, man? Well, they have their TV show.
Oh my God.
It's a kid show, man. They make fucking money off of that shit. They sell out.
That's how you know there's no talent there. They make a kid show.
That's what they're geared towards. They had an offer. Okay. If somebody came up for whatever reason and was like, "Hey,"
would you say Dora's great silver screen material? Dora.
What?
It's a kids show. They make the kids.
The live action movie was pretty decent, so you can.
Oh my
shut
God.
the fuck up.
Whatever.
For a kids movie,
I think grown men in spandex geared towards kids. That's one step away from a big issue.
It is.
They might as well be Catholic.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'm just saying it's like anything else. If I could make enough money to live on doing it and have a TV show, hell yeah, I don't care.
I just don't feel like they're making enough money to do it, to live on. I think that there's something else. They've got something else going on as well.
Well, most musicians like that have gotten commercial success write or produce or do things as well. But if that's
that's not the same thing as what I'm saying.
I know, and I think you're incorrect.
Maybe I am.
Because they have multiple albums, they have multiple like shows, they make money off, they get royalties, all that stuff, man. They make money.
Okay.
I'm not saying they're rich. They're not all driving around Mercedes and BMWs, but they're making a living, probably as good as we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna look it up now. I'm gonna look up their income.
Look it up. Look up their income. I will gladly admit I'm wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God.
Why does that bother you so much?
It doesn't bother me.
It obviously does.
No. Their situation doesn't bother me. I just think I respect you more than to say what you're saying about.
I'm just saying I enjoy their music.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right. And so I have no problem with them doing that for a living.
I have no problem with them doing that for a living, but I don't think that proves talent.
Okay, but you can listen to their records and know they're musically talented.
Mm-hmm. I also don't like that they never break character. You're 50 years old at this point.
Okay.
You're not from Aquatonia.
Okay. Andy Kaufman never broke character.
Andy Kaufman didn't live to be 50.
That's true. As far as you know.
Well, as far as I know. Whatever. Andy Kaufman was an art form.
Yeah.
Aquabats are not.
Okay.
I don't even know what the Aquabats are.
Good. I've raised you
they're a
right.
ska band. Their whole thing is they dress as superheroes. Essentially, they play live shows, and in their live shows, they battle. It's like a whole production, almost like a theater show. They fight supervillains. They do all this stuff, and they've been all ages for forever. And so it's something like the decent music that's not like normal kid shit you'd hear on like kids radio or whatever. And like parents would bring their kids. It was a fun show. Everybody had a good time. And then a lot of times they'd play with like bigger bands, and people come out and they fucking go home. And that's how they made their money. And they have like if you like ska music, they're a good band. In
all of that is fine, but I can remember them going on the Love Line years ago and them asking them questions about like life and whatever, and then be like, we don't have that on Aquatonia. I'm like, oh, get over yourself. Give me a break.
See, I enjoy it. I think that's funny.
If you were Ali G'ing that and really trying to like goof on someone, fine.
You said
that's not what they were doing.
Like a 90-year-old. You goof on
I don't care. That's what it is. It's a goof.
It's a goof.
Yeah, it's a goof.
Okay.
Whatever. I don't care. I just
Aren't you glad you came on tonight, Olivia?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why you've been resisting coming on here for quite some time?
Yeah.
Why?
I think I just didn't know what, because at first he was like, "What do you want to talk about?" And I was like, "I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have like a subject that I want to debate on or talk about."
Right.
But I really think that's it. Other than that, I mean,
you didn't want to see.
Saturday
You don't want to see.
night.
Yeah, Saturday night and
you know,
seeing a side of your dad that you never wanted to see.
Yeah.
I'm forced to put up with for the last 20 years.
I would take this over crying dad.
That's fair.
Oh my God. How many times have you seen me cry in your life?
Probably like
Over something like that.
No, not over something like that.
2
Anytime.
or 3 times.
Yeah.
Anytime,
go.
probably like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
But it's enough.
Explain to me what's wrong with that?
I never know what my response should be.
Oh, I got you.
Do I cry in return? Do I try to comfort?
No, it's you look and go, suck it up, bitch. Like that's the proper reaction.
Right.
You're a grown ass man.
Well, it is.
There was just that time where you and mom were living separately, going over to your apartment. I would walk in and I would be like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say.
That was
This is
actually a
depressing.
better time than the time you were talking about.
Okay.
Like that was as hard as it was at first. The time that your mom and I were separated was actually a healthy time for the two of us because we both learned who we were separate from each other because we were 18 and 20 when we got married.
Yeah.
We didn't know who we were away from each other. We didn't know who we were. So we learned who we were separate from each other. So every time you guys came over, it was like, this is fun time. Like, this is great. This is, or whatever. So
I would have rather stayed there though.
It stayed at my place?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, it's not a secret that you're my favorite parent. She's laying on the bench.
Yeah, she might be.
What are they gonna say about me?
I didn't tell her Olivia was coming on because I didn't ask Olivia until she had her whatever mask she's trying for. She's some kind of mask that she's wearing right now to see if that's going to help with her head stuff. So,
yeah.
Kristen,
not Olivia. Okay.
No, not Olivia. So I waited.
I thought she might have taken off a mask before she came into the podcast. I was like, that's fucking weird. But
no, she took off her good daughter mask.
Right.
I was like,
I'm trying to put on this mask.
Yeah.
To hone my psychic abilities to see the future.
No. But so I didn't say anything to her about it until Krista was going to sleep.
Okay.
Told her good night, kissed her good night, and walked out of the room. And then I was like, "You want to do a podcast?" She's like, "Right now?" I was like,
"Yes."
Yeah, why not?
Because about 45 minutes ago, actually it's 53 minutes. It'll be about 65 minutes ago. We were like, "Hey, let's go and do a second episode." So we don't do this week. So
Sure. That's why I texted you and said, "Do you know when you're going to be home?"
Yeah.
So I thought
I would very much like the next time you have a serious boyfriend of any kind for them to both come on the podcast.
That's fine. I don't know that how comfortable she would be with that.
I don't care.
That's not important. But if she's not comfortable with it, she's not going to come on.
I know, but I'm just saying for my own. I'm not saying it has to. I'm just saying for my own enjoyment.
Well, that'll be a good judgment of whether he's a good boyfriend or not. Because if he chooses to do that, then he obviously is not very smart.
Well, I'm saying but Gabe and Kelsey, they made it through our podcast.
They've been together for a while.
I know, but still, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, but that's strength. That's love. It makes my heart warm.
I think
Alright.
so. Here's the thing: in relationships, I have to be the funniest. I have to usually be the most attractive one. Like, I want people to be like, "How did you get that?" And for him to be like, "I don't know," you know. You know,
I'm just so lucky.
exactly.
Okay.
So
You should
I don't-
definitely date Eli.
I don't want to babysit. But the thing is, bringing a guy that I'm funnier than on a podcast, chances are he's not going to be funny. He's not going to be interesting enough. That's why I just don't bring many people around until they got to like pass a test.
Okay. That's
And then
fair.
I'm like, I just don't want to be embarrassed by you.
Yeah, she brought a boyfriend
Okay.
out to dinner with us
Right.
a few years ago, and like he didn't order food.
He didn't order
Oh,
food.
that's
He
a-
didn't
Like that's the
speak.
kiss of death. Yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't really talk. He didn't order food, and like
I'll have
immediately
the-
when
I'll
he
have
was
the
like,
salad.
when he was like, no, he didn't
I'm-
order
I'm
a salad.
joking.
Yeah, he ordered nothing, and immediately the boys were like, "What the fuck? You're not gonna order? You're not gonna eat anything? I know you're hungry.
Right.
You're not gonna
As
eat
soon
anything."
as he was like, I'm not going to eat anything, I was like, here we go. We're never going to live this down. It's almost like I wanted to take him to the bathroom and be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Get your shit together. Even if you have to just like throw something behind you to act like you're eating,
Right.
just do something.
Oh my god.
Have you ever actually had that conversation like with the boyfriend for like you need to get your shit together and like when you get here?
No,
Okay. Just let
because
him figure it
I've
out.
really only brought what 2 guys around,
Mhm.
and the first one
Smart.
was the one that didn't eat,
Yeah.
and the second one was,
The second one wasted half of one of my good cigars.
which I didn't know that because I wasn't outside. I kind of threw
Sure.
him to the wolves.
Yeah.
He was the guy. He was the guy that
Tall
was here
ginger?
that time.
Yeah.
Tall, yeah,
I
tall
was
ginger.
like
yeah.
gingerbread.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was him.
Soft and red, and nobody really likes him that much. They just pretend to.
Yeah. So
Like,
when
you know.
when we all went out to, I don't remember where we went, but we ended up at some restaurant downtown on Market Square.
I think it was not Watson's.
That sounds right.
They
You
have a great fucking brunch, by the way.
I've not had
Not
brunch
Watson's.
there, but
Holy
we were
shit.
all downtown for
So
something.
good.
I don't know, but I say all. Me,
It was-
Krista, Olivia, and
The 3 of us, me, you, and Austin, went to a UT game.
Okay.
no, we didn't meet your mom down there. Not Watson's, then did we?
I think so. Because I think you went to
Maybe.
go pick her up.
Okay,
I think.
maybe that is. Regardless, me, Krista, her, and Austin ended up at downtown wandering around. We went to
Right.
Not Watson's. Olivia got up to go to the bathroom, and it was like my first moment
Mhm.
that I was going to actually like. And I told your mom, I told Krista, like, I'm fixing to tell him. And I was just about to say, I don't know what's going on, but if you're not serious, you need to get out now because I'm not going to. She's serious, and if you're not, then you need to be done with this. And like I'm not gonna sit around and just watch you just half-ass something.
Look at you intervening.
Yeah, and about the time I was fixing to say it, she comes back from the bathroom, so I didn't say anything.
Uh-huh.
It was within a week he
Yeah,
ended
I
whatever.
wish he had
Yeah.
said it.
Yeah,
It's
within a
rarely
week
been a
he
week.
ended.
Yeah.
He ended it.
Interesting.
And I never said it to him, but within it's a feeling I had.
Right.
That it was like something feels amiss.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Interesting.
So yeah. But I would like to think that my wife and I are pretty good judge of people.
Yeah. I got you.
So
You weren't
Anyway.
18 yet, though, right?
I was.
no, she
You were?
was.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't start dating her till she was 18.
Oh yeah. Oh, I
He just
forgot because
preyed on
I
her
for-
beforehand.
I just groomed her. A little grooming. No, okay. So I guess I forget about the age difference in 18 is different.
Yeah. Right after she turned 18.
I don't know. I have this, I guess 18, I still have this skewed perspective. And I guess it's more for a boy, like, you'll learn. You'll figure it out. You're a grown person now.
I can't remember if he was 22, 23, what he was.
Yeah. I get it. But in general, though,
Felt weird.
you're a bit more protective than I am with a lot of shit. And I might be when Lyric gets to be
You might be.
17, 18 years old. We'll see.
You might be.
But I'm also very emotionally dead inside for a lot of that stuff.
That's true. I don't get that.
I almost did get into a fight today, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was
Over her or
No.
over the kids, or
We were
just
driving
because-
down like Cedar
somebody
towards
eyeballed you.
Clinton. No, there was some dude, and he was like, he pushed this fat lady down and was like they were screaming at each other and shit. And it was, I couldn't quite get over in time, and I had Jude and Amanda in the car, and like I was like, fuck, I don't want to deal with this shit. And like I was in a place where I could not get over, and or else I would have. And I screamed at the guy out the window. Which Jude was like, "Dad, I've never heard you yell like that before." I was like, "Yeah," because I was about to beat that dude.
I yelled at a guy on vacation, and immediately afterwards, like, apologized. It was Olivia and Matthew in the golf cart. So the house we rented came with a golf cart. So we took it down to the beach, and I went to turn left. Same rules of the road as cars.
Yeah.
And this guy decided he was going straight as I was turning. It was almost a collision.
Right.
And I yelled at the guy. I was like, "You don't have the right of way, asshole."
Right.
And he like looked at like, "What?" And then drove away.
Yeah.
And I immediately said, "I'm sorry if that embarrassed you guys."
Yeah.
Like immediately.
Yeah. So
we were sitting in the back seat like
right. Yeah, no, I was in a position, had I gotten over it, would have been ugly because I was trying to, and I just couldn't get past. And I felt like shit, though, because I hate when people are like, I don't know what the situation was.
Sure.
She could have started it, but there's still no reason for that bullshit. And I couldn't get over it. I was telling the man, I was like, fuck.
Maybe you just like seeing fat people fall.
Maybe.
who
still,
doesn't?
But it looked
love
like he had taken her shoes. Like, but I mean, he was pushing her down by her throat and jerking.
How else is she gonna fall?
Right. No, I'm just saying, like, he was pretty much beating on her, say throwing fists. Like, I'm not gonna put up with that shit.
Well,
and I couldn't over. Okay. Anyway, scared the shit out of Jude, but
it's never okay for men to hit women.
Anyway. But I was regretting though. I was like, I should have just cut some people off just so I could beat somebody's fucking face in the day. I would have been so happy with that.
I feel like you need to get into a fight to get it out of your system for a couple of years.
Yeah, probably.
Why don't you just take like classes?
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same as getting into a fight with someone you don't know.
Yeah.
Never been in a fight before.
Yeah. I took classes for a big hunk of my life.
Okay.
Yeah. And I really enjoy hitting people. But I'm at the age where I don't like getting hit anymore. Like I used to not mind getting hit in the face.
I can remember being at Prez Pub with you one night, and the guy, just beefcake type guy, like Jim Bro, was there, and he was like, "Hey man, can I get a cigarette?" And you gave him a cigarette, and then 10 minutes later, he asked for another cigarette from you. You gave him another cigarette, and you looked at him and you said, "If he asked for another cigarette, I'm getting into a fight." I was like, "You just need to fight somebody."
Yeah. Well, he asked me for a third one, and I told him, "Go fuck yourself. There's the thing right there."
Yeah.
He was like, "Well, you gotta be an asshole." I was like, "I'm not the one fucking bumming cigarettes."
Right.
And he stepped the fuck. Most people will step the fuck
Sure.
down. Nobody actually wants to get in a fight, or very few people do. So,
Sure, I agree.
Anyway, but I need to get some fucking rage out and just beat the shit out of some 20-year-old fucking douchebag with a pop collar. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
She likes being married to me, weirdly enough.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say she likes getting beat.
I did too. I was like,
no, I like getting smacked around. Her not so
okay.
much. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Makes
It's a whole different dynamic.
One's the S, the other's the M. Okay,
yeah,
I
exactly.
got you.
But no, I don't know. I have on a daily basis, I see people that I would just like to beat the shit out of almost daily. But most people that I want to beat the shit out of would deserve having shit beat out of them. But I don't know. Yeah.
So we've started, Olivia and I have started watching all the movies in the Conjuring universe recently.
Yeah, I've watched all. They're fucking great.
Yeah, you had recommended it. She was going to watch one night, so we watched Conjuring 1, 2, and 3. And now we watched Annabelle in the chronological order, not release. We watched what's Creation, and then Annabelle, and then we watched Annabelle Comes Home Today.
Right.
So
you watched La Llorona?
That's that
or the
that
Nun.
And the Nun are the two we have left.
The Nun is my least favorite out of the bunch.
Is it? It's supposed to be the first one you watch if you want to watch them.
See,
over
that's what I went after.
chronological.
I'd seen the Conjuring 1 and 2, and then I went back and watched the whole thing in like not the release order, but the chronological order.
Right.
And like they're all like, I really enjoy the Conjuring universe. The Nun is my least favorite out of all of them, but
we hadn't watched that one.
Yeah, we love the fucking.
We have
Conjuring.
the Nun and La Llorona, so that's what we have left.
No, they're good. Are you a big horror movie
yes, big time.
Yeah.
Which none of them have really spooked me.
No.
There's a couple of jump scares here and there, but that's
even
about
the jump scares, you react to them, and I'm like,
my reaction to every jump scare is Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's my reaction to every jump scare.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Here's the thing: the demon with Annabelle is the cheesiest looking thing I've seen in a long time. It's gospel bill cheesy.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
But they're I really enjoy all of those movies because it reminds me of being young and hearing about that kind of stuff.
Right.
and the curses and witches and warlocks praying over things and curses and things like that.
So you watched the third Conjuring then? How did
with
you,
the witch.
what did you think of the third one in comparison to the first two?
It was my second favorite. I didn't like the second Conjuring.
Right.
That
was the old man, right?
No, the second. Well,
Yeah.
it was it was the British family.
Yeah.
I liked. I think I liked the first one more because it was more like original, I guess.
Yeah.
And I almost think that the first out of everything is the best one.
Usually, yeah.
But the third one, it felt more modern than what it said in.
Yeah.
Weirdly. But I did like it a lot.
Which was actually my least favorite thing about it. Like I really liked it, but I didn't like that more modern feel because I guess they it was updating everything.
Of the first one?
No, the third one.
I got you.
Yeah, because like you said, it felt more modern than the time it was set in, and that's the only thing. It didn't bother me, but I was like, because there's times it lost the illusion of being in the time period that it was in. Whereas I feel like the first one really hung onto that vibe that it was. Really well.
I like them in the same order. The first one, third one, second one, as far as Conjuring goes. It's interesting to me though how one of the best things about that though is how these stories are all based on true stories. Yeah.
Very loosely based, but yes.
Well, whatever. Regardless, you sound like one of the other people that.
Well, I always no. I don't want to speak against it.
You're not in the minority. That's fine.
Fuck you. I really hate the whole based on a true story shit because it never is. I mean, it is technically, I guess, but
literally, it's based on a true story. Not technically, it's literally based on a true story.
Literally based on a true story.
Yeah, here's a true story. Let's base this on it.
But it's not based on.
It is based on.
No, it's not based on.
No, I think it is based on it, but it's not the story.
Right.
Yeah, it's not the story. It's still based on the story.
Based on means the original story is the foundation of the movie, and it's not. Usually they take elements of that base. So it's not based on, it's based on elements of. There's a big difference in those two things.
No.
Yeah.
No, there's inspired by a true story and there's based on a true story.
Inspired by would be the much better way to put it. Everything
I disagree with you.
Really?
Yes, I disagree with you.
Okay.
Anyway.
But she just said it's inspired by a true story, but it has nothing to do with the true story. Essentially is what you just said.
Nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
You're
putting words in her
creating
mouth.
things.
Yeah.
You're based on a true story in my words.
No, you're inspired by.
Yeah.
You're inspired by. No, yeah, it's because I don't remember her saying that. But yeah.
Yeah. I just mean the execution is the same, based on is the same as inspired by, because neither one of them
You're not saying the same thing anymore.
I'm saying based on inspired by are basically the same thing when it comes to movie filmmaking.
I get what you're saying right now, but that's not what you said 2 minutes ago.
I said based on, it's not based on.
Yeah, but you did not say that inspired by and based on is the same thing. You said it's actually more inspired by, not based on. Well, if it's the same thing, then we're both right.
God damn it. You're being an asshole.
No, I'm not. I'm going by what you said.
Being an asshole. No, I know. Because this is where you're getting hung up on shit. By based on, I mean,
you mean shit like your words?
No, to me, what I'm saying is if something's based on something, that means there's actual baseline of what it all comes out of. And that is absolutely not true with any of that.
Okay. But that's not what you just said. Ooh.
Fuck you.
It's not what you said.
That's what I said originally.
Okay. And then you went back and said based on and inspired by are the same thing.
Yeah. In movie world.
But originally you said they're not based on, they're inspired by. Well, if based on and inspired by are the same thing.
No. What I'm saying is how things are made, what it's pulled out of, that it's the same viewpoint. Neither one is true. It's more inspired by than based on. But when they say based on, it's essentially the same thing as saying inspired by.
They're taking this story as their base.
No.
And they're pulling things out of that and using some of that and embellishing some of that.
All of it.
Not embellishing all of it.
Absolutely embellishing.
Not all of it.
What are they not embellishing? Other than names.
Okay. I'm not saying there's no more than
the third Conjuring movie, they play the recording of the actual exorcism of the little boy.
Yeah.
It's pretty accurate during the movie.
Okay.
I mean, it is or it isn't.
The same one in the second one too.
Yeah.
What's that?
They do the same
thing in the second one though.
Yeah. That doesn't mean it's inspired by. Or I'm sorry.
You're right. It means it's based on.
No.
You just said, aside from names, nothing is the same.
It's not.
They play the exorcism on both movies, and it's pretty damn close.
Okay.
So more than the names are the same.
Okay.
You're being difficult.
I am being difficult.
Okay.
He is. It's fine. He knows he said a couple of contradictory things, and I've called him out on it.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. How do you feel about YouTubers?
I actually finally figured that out.
Did you?
Yeah,
It took you a year.
It did, but it bothered me so much, like more so than things that I actually finally figured out, like my solid stance for me.
Why did it bother you?
What's that?
Why does it bother you?
Because I couldn't quantify.
You sounded like an idiot.
No, it's because I couldn't quantify, like, or speak about why I felt so strongly about hating modern YouTubers making a
I don't
living off of what they're
understand
doing.
how you can support the Aquabats just from hearing what you guys talked about.
Right.
Aquabats, sorry, but not YouTubers.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. No, no. For me,
what it boils down to is he doesn't like anyone that gets super famous and rich quick with little effort.
Yeah.
Okay. Isn't that the dream though? That's kind of ideal.
That is the dream for sure.
Okay.
I guess what I have the problem with, and this is, I shouldn't say the problem with, what annoys me about it is when it's 15 and 16-year-old kids that are hitting this, right? And I don't know, that just bothers you because like you haven't had, and it's a principle thing or conceptual. It's not based on practical reality. Because if I'd have been 15 or 16 and I've gotten stupid rich off of doing some stupid shit, fuck yeah, no complaints. So I get it's hypocritical as fuck. But as an adult that's had the shit kicked out of me a lot through life, I'm like, you don't appreciate what the fuck you have. And that's, I think, what really...
But that doesn't mean they don't deserve it.
Yeah, well, no, well, it depends on your definition.
They just don't appreciate it as much.
Right. Well, because the fact is, I don't think anybody deserves it. I don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. Like, nobody deserves it. Like, very few people, I would say, that they've done something in their life worth receiving that much fucking money for anything.
And I don't think that 15, 16-year-olds can even appreciate the minimum wage that they make at like a job.
Exactly.
But I think at one point you could.
What do you mean at one point?
Like, if I looked back at like 16-year-old me and the money that I was making when I was working my first job, definitely didn't appreciate it then.
Right.
But now I'm like, okay, I appreciate that. Like, I got money because I worked.
Yes.
I do think that YouTubers put work in.
Right.
Like creating content or whatever. I don't think that like young ones appreciate it, but at some point they will.
At some point they will. Yeah, I agree. I think though, because you brought up the point of Jackass too. And like our generation started the downhill slide is my point. Like none of those assholes are contributing shit. But you could say the same about musicians. You could say the same about whatever. And it just, I don't know, I don't view it as art, and maybe that's just my viewpoint. I don't view it as anything that's contributing to the betterment of fucking
art
anything.
is evolving so much now. So like take for instance, all of these fights that have happened lately between like these YouTube, like the Logan and Jake Paul have had these boxing matches lately. And they're making money hand over fist selling the pay-per-view for this. It's not the same as Marvin Hagler and Hearns and Muhammad Ali and all those guys back in the day.
Right.
But it's just the way things evolve.
No,
it makes me mad too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I've reconciled the fact that some of it's my perspective of where I've come from and how I look.
Some of mine is jealousy.
Yeah, oh for sure. But I mean, for me, like I view art and content as two very different things, right? And so like entertainment and art are two different things. And I feel like art can be entertaining, but entertainment's not necessarily art. There's a big difference in the two. Because to me, art is something that shapes. Fuck, you're gonna pick this apart too, so I'm not gonna word that right. I know, I fucking know you.
Well, what's happening now with the YouTuber stuff is shaping things.
That's why I pump the brakes on that. Like I get that it's shaping things, but
it's not even. It's not the same world that we grew up in, even remotely. So it's really even hard to find a link between the two.
It is, but it isn't. So if you look over historically and what art has been and what has shaped and moved culture, I'm talking about from music, paintings, visual arts, and I get movies are more of a recent thing. And there's definitely an art form to filmmaking and storytelling and all that stuff. And I think I fail to see the value. And again, I understand this is where I sit. But as far as long-term value in storytelling or enriching thing, like I look at art as something that like enriches the society that it's in. And, you know, fucking building a fucking 20-story fucking cardboard box fort and like you doing and blowing shit up. It's like Jackass. Jackass offered no cultural value whatsoever. It's entertaining as fuck, but there's nothing art worthy to
I
it.
think that was the cultural value. It was like, this is the kind of stuff that guys like to do when they get.
Right. But that's not cultural value. That's just it's entertainment. It's like sports. They're not art. They're entertainment.
Okay.
And it's athletic, but it's not contributing shit. It's a fucking
It depends on what you consider contributing, though.
it's contributing to entertainment, but
Okay.
it's not contributing to the enrichment of culture.
Okay, I'll give you that.
And that's more what I mean. Like the YouTubers, for the most, there's exceptions, obviously, but most of them are contributing to the enrichment and growth of culture. It's just entertainment because we become such an entertainment centric culture.
Yeah.
That's all we consume. There's very little appreciation for an actual creative process. It's all instant and what you can get. It's all because when everything is based on instant popularity and views and immediacy of sponsorships,
instant gratification,
it loses value.
Sure.
Right.
I
Not
get
monetary value.
But
like
I think you and I
value.
yeah, thank you.
I think you and I have such a hard time grasping it and giving
But I
it
don't.
its due. Hold on a minute, because things have progressed in the first 30 years of our life, progressed 30 years. The last 10 years of our life have progressed as much as the first 30 years of our life.
For sure.
As far as society and technology and things like that. So it's very hard for someone our age and older to quite grasp all of the change and really still link it to those things that you're saying it's not.
I disagree.
I think I agree with Steven, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
No, because I mean, I think it's entertainment. It feeds.
I agree that it's not necessarily
because there are still people that are creating like societally enriching art.
Sure.
And I'm not saying there's no value in the entertainment. And I'm not saying the thing that irritates me about it is I think it's a complete antithesis of what we were taught growing up, that things like those things take hard work, right?
Yeah.
And so we've spent our life working our asses off to get these things. And then you have kids that are 14 years old that are pulling in fucking 7 figures, you know, because of sponsorships. And that's fucking hard to swallow. For sure. But completely separating the two.
But we're also discussing something different than we discussed when we originally had this discussion.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, I've had time to process it, and this is what I've come to.
I also, though, think that these guys...
And why I don't see as much value in it.
Right. I also think that a lot of these YouTubers are working very hard because they have to be working... Okay, the very popular ones, the Logan and Jake Pauls.
See, they didn't start, though. They realized if they wanted to continue getting what they had to start producing content. So it's kind of like,
I'm just talking about the content producers. Like, you have to be on 24 hours a day.
It's exhausting, and
you're
it becomes
advertising and all that. Like, you have to do it all on your own. So it's hard work. It's a different kind of hard work than it used to be.
Well, most of them, if they blow up, hire a team. Like, that's just
sure. A lot of them do, but anything else. But that's still costing you money and work that you put.
And
I'm
not saying it's not. It doesn't. I'm not saying it doesn't turn into work to sustain.
Sure. I'm just saying, but it's no different than a band that got signed back in the day that gets signed to a record label, and the record label's putting all the effort and time and money into the advertising and the airplay. Yeah. It's no different. It's just a different way they're doing it now.
Yeah, it's true. But I feel like the amount of work that goes into it to start is different. But
yeah, that's probably true.
But again, because that's where value to me comes in, right? Because one is you're not just throwing a camera on yourself, you know, doing what the fuck ever.
Most of the YouTube stuff, I don't see a lot of value in. I think in 100 years, it's not going to stand out. But in 100 years, movies that were created 20 years ago are still going to stand the test of time.
I think music will outlast media any day of the week.
I think music will outlast all other forms of media.
Because really, historically speaking, like every fucking like society, you can trace back, you can almost tag
music tells the story
through music or through like art, visual art. Those are the two things that stand like the test of time.
Sure.
So that's all I'm saying that, but I mean, processing it, that's what I've gotten to where it bothers me. It irritates me just because of the instant gratification. And I think the people that are coming up that confuse that with actual culture and art and things. And that irritates me because I can see, but we came in, to the transition.
Well, some of it,
I don't have a hard time grasping it. Like, I'm jealous of it to a degree.
Some of it depends on how you define culture, because there are so many different types of culture. Now, there's the online culture, and there's white culture, and black culture, and things.
I'm talking about general, like, humankind, the enrichment of our culture.
Yeah, but even that has expanded so much as we've gotten more technology, and the world has gotten smaller through the internet. Like, there are online cultures now that we would have never discussed or even considered back in the day.
And I'm not talking about individual cultures. I'm talking about the conceptual of humankind, not individual pockets. Because
but even that you got to bring into humankind, because that's what being a human is now. For the most part, not obviously there are third world countries that
being a human has never changed. It's how we consume media that changes.
I understand that, but that's part of being human. The way we consume media now is part of being human today.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not completely disagreeing with you. I'm just slightly disagreeing. I have to pee really bad. So if you guys want to say bad things about
do you
me,
want to take a quick break so you can pee?
I don't care.
Because I could really use a fucking
I was going to say,
cigarette.
this give an opportunity for
too.
Okay. Go for it.
All right. All right.
Let me see if I've got a little clip for us.
Okay. Are you glad you came on, or are you bored to shit?
I'm glad I came on.
It's good.
I'm not very tired lately at night, so
Okay.
I'd probably just be laid up in bed
It's
watching YouTubers.
Hey. So what's your viewpoint on the whole YouTube thing?
I think it's just like the new age reality TV.
Yeah.
Because it's just as scripted.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think that it's given kids nowadays just an unrealistic expectation for how they'll have a career.
Yes.
Which is scary.
Yep.
But it's also like survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
Not everyone that makes a YouTube channel is going to make it big.
No. Yeah. It's the same way as. Sound. Hey, Will.
Sounds shit. I gotta get back to her. What?
But no, I agree because one thing I find funny, and again, because I think we come actually from a decent place, because I found the term, I think I told you this, Xennials, instead of, because we don't fall in the millennials, but we're not Gen X, we're right in the fucking middle. But I think there's some appreciation there, right? Because like I'm not confused by digital culture or why, like I get why it's consumed and I get why it's popular, but I do think it creates unrealistic expectations. And the other issue that I see sometimes is because like there's this huge gap in the workforce right now. Like nobody wants to become plumbers or carpenters or or electricians. Like all these skilled trades are gone because it's just hard. Like it's fucking shitty work. You can make a lot of money.
Right.
But if you can have the chance, it's kind of like when we were younger, kids wanting to make it big, and they're still fucking 40 years old, like in a shitty punk rock band that never get out of it because they keep thinking they're going to hit it big. And I mean, I've been in that group, you know, and it's just, it sets those expectations to whatever. And like I said, it bothers me because I think it's funny to me that our generation and younger or an older will bitch about like, oh, millennials or Gen X. Like we're the fucking guys that raised these assholes.
Sure.
Like it's our fault that all this shit exists. Like probably from Jackass. We're like, oh, nobody's ever fucking, just kicked each other in the nuts for an hour. This shit's awesome.
Right.
And then that's just open the door. And then we'll be like, what the fuck's up with this? This is stupid. Like, well, it's your fault. It's your fault. It's kind of like Rage Against the Machine is why fucking Limp Bizkit exists.
I said that to somebody the other day and they said, okay, well, would you also blame Rage Against the Machine on Linkin Park? And I said, well, I'm not a big Linkin Park fan.
Yes, I absolutely
I would blame it on them, but
that's
at least
the progression.
But Linkin Park is better than Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So, but that's still been like, you can.
I'm a fan of Rage Against the Machine, but they're absolutely to blame.
Well, like
for
you can
Limp
trace
Bizkit.
Creed straight back to Led Zeppelin.
Sure.
It's a whole progression of garbage.
Yeah.
Well, like Skasmic, there's like this whole new, like younger kid generation of ska coming up, which is amazing. It's just funny to be older enough now to see things like recycling itself.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
And you'll see that. I'm sure you've already seen it some, but you'll like in the next 10 years, you'll be like, what the fuck?
Probably.
Yeah. Like 90s fashions come back, and that's crazy to me.
Yeah. All right, I got a clip.
All right, let's see it.
We know Robert E. Lee was a great fundamentalist Christian. By the way, he freed his slaves a couple years before the Civil War.
Oh, Jesus.
Meanwhile, the commander of the Yankee forces, Ulysses S. Grant, the drunkard Ulysses S. Grant, was being served by his wife's slaves at the Yankee army camp. Amen?
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. Crimea River, Robert E. Lee was so bad, so bad. Hey, by the way, did you know Robert E. Lee's last battle was not Appomattox, bless God? Robert E. Lee's last battle was fought on the spiritual warfare battlefield against the ecumenical movement. Bless God, Robert E. Lee's last battlefield was on the spiritual battlefield against the Oxford movement as Anglo-Catholicism. The people of Virginia, the Anglicans of Virginia, recognized that he was a man of honor. He was a man of God. He was a good man.
Oh my God. That guy's a terrible preacher.
But he does have the accent preachers get when they're on it. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Bless
almost
God.
like the Seinfeld when he gets into it. You know,
So that's the same guy that talked about the Kentucky Fried Chicken being replaced by that Jezebel mermaid from Starbucks.
It's so funny to me what Christian like the fundamentalist Christians choose to harp on as being like the bad shit, and then completely overlook the fact that I saw the video. The dude's like 400 pounds.
Oh, he's a big guy.
Yeah, it's
He's
like
a big guy.
be fat as shit, but fuck, I don't understand.
I just can't imagine sitting and listening to that and thinking, I'm getting some out of this.
Yeah.
Bless
The
God.
church,
Amen.
the church my sister goes to, it's not that bad, but it's that type of shit. And I'm like, how can you sit through this?
Oh, I meant to ask you, did your kids go to the Ark, the Noah's Ark?
Not yet.
Museum
My mom's been talking about taking them there.
Okay.
And I told you my sister got because
Yeah, you told me about her.
yeah. Well, I was telling my sister because she was saying my mom wants to take them and that'd be nice. I was like, that's fine. I said, I'm just going to have to prep them beforehand that the earth isn't 6,000 years old and dinosaurs did exist. And she was like, my sister's like, well, what's wrong? Like, how old do you think the earth is? I was like, at least millions. I was like, recorded history starts about 5,000 years ago.
Sure.
So you think that like only 1,000 years before that, the whole thing was created when we supposedly have written record of this. No. And she was like, well, there's the study my pastor gave us that about the moon dust and how it proves the earth is whatever. And I was like, what? I was like, can you send me this? And she was like, well, it's whatever. So I looked it up.
Yeah, you told me about it.
Yeah. And it's like this little piece of this formulation that some dude did like years and years ago, that how much dust the moon should have. And so NASA, when they're first launching a spacecraft to the moon, were worried about this because of the accumulation, and they realized, oh, it didn't factor in for XYZ because that's what the fuck science does. It proves itself wrong.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay. But yeah, they also think that dinosaurs didn't exist, and those are put there to help people from believing in God.
Can I say that I always thought your sister was a lesbian? I don't know why. I just always
We
got
wouldn't have
those
been
vibes.
surprised either, but that's the
No.
softball
player.
Yeah. That's funny. But yeah, so she didn't understand why we need to prep the kids ahead of time to be like, yeah, it's a cool exhibit, like especially as a kid to see something like the recreation of the ark. But actually, it opened up. I was talking to them about some of that stuff, and like they were asking questions. And Judah's like, Dad, because he's a big into animals and shit. He goes, how could all of the animals in the whole world, like there are two of each of them, fit on a boat?
Well, it's not just that, but how did the Ark land where it landed and kangaroos end up in Australia?
Right. Well, regardless of that, but his thing is like, he goes, they couldn't all fit in there. And I was like, well, maybe it was a spacecraft and they had like just DNA samples. And he was like, I've heard that theory. I was like, but to me, that is much more plausible if the ark isn't a real thing, for it to be a fucking spacecraft with DNA on it. It makes way more sense
The
than
plausible
two of every
thing
animal.
is evolution.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about if you're taking that story and you're wanting that story to be true, the only way,
even if the story is true, you could still have evolution between different animals and crossing different things.
Yeah.
Like,
but I'm talking about if you're taking the literal interpretation of how it is now, and evolution's not real. And so what we have now is what they had then. The only way that many fucking animals could fit on any type of boat would be to have DNA samples. Anyway, but he was like, I've never thought of that. I was like, yeah, it makes more sense, doesn't it? He was like, that's cool.
So I found a TikTok account of this guy who used to be like deep in the Pentecostal church or whatever, who's come out now from the church, and he's debunking all these things, still a believer or whatever, but he's debunking all these things. Right. And he also, though, looks like he could have been the lead singer of the Starting Line back in the day, or something corporate, something like that. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. So yeah, he actually ordered Peter Popoff's Miracle Spring Water to see what all Peter Popoff had to say about it. It's some pretty interesting stuff. Yeah.
I find all that really interesting. Like, I legitimately do. Sure. And like, to me, and I'm assuming you're probably in the same boat talking, like, people either say you have science, you have spirituality, religion, and like they're this or that. And to me, they're not necessarily completely separate from each other. Like, really, spirituality to me is just things that we haven't been able to prove yet with science, because we don't have the technology or the means to. Like, saying that science is real or evolution exists, it doesn't negate the fact that God exists or any other thing, tying to that. Like, I just don't understand why there has to be such a mix up. Because fucking 100 years ago, Like this would have been magic.
Yeah,
Somebody
absolutely.
looked at this and be like, what is this wizardry? This is
Yeah.
and there would have been the church had been like, that's the fucking devil.
Yeah, sure.
100%.
Well, take a modern motorcycle back to World War II.
Yeah.
It's witchcraft.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane.
Yeah. Or what we're doing right now, recording on a digital, like on a
sure
solid card. It's crazy. And things have always been
the cloud.
Right. But I'm just saying by religious people, traditionally, especially in the Protestant church, have always looked at things they don't understand as being evil or satanic or devil oriented. And that happens in other cultures as well, but it tends to be more like outspokenly prevalent in Judeo-Christian society, at least in modern times. I mean, you had, back when cameras first came out, people thought it would capture your soul and, all that shit. But
I think mostly people just get afraid of things that are going to make them ask questions about what they believe, or that it's going to at all, like in any way, get in between their relationship with like whatever religion they subscribe to. But I mean, I've never once thought science and religion cannot go hand in hand.
Right.
Yeah, they're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree. It's funny. I think people are so scared of being wrong about something they're putting so much of their life into. Anything that contradicts those things, they're like, no, that's wrong. It's like, as opposed to like being open to being wrong. Because I think some people, I think we've talked about this or whatever. Like, if it turned out that aliens were real, they're like, that would wreck so many people's theology of our, human centric view on how God.
Which is why I think that if the Antichrist is going to be a real thing, it could be an alien. If the Antichrist was an alien, make complete sense to me.
Yeah.
But
if there's even an Antichrist.
Right. I'm just saying, like, if you follow along with what people believe is going to happen, if the Antichrist were an alien, it's the only thing to me that makes sense. Because you're not going to have one person from a political party.
I know. Like, unite the entire, if you're taking Revelation literally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've had conversations with different people about this. Sometimes I don't even necessarily think that the Antichrist is going to be a certain being. Like, it could just be another idea that a bunch of people subscribe to. It just has to be something that's attractive to a large group of people.
Yep.
Could be YouTubers.
Could be.
Could be Logan Paul.
Oh God.
Lyric is currently at the age that almost, and Jude to a degree because Lyric's sister, but almost all of her humor is pulled from memes. Like, she just regurgitates jokes that she's reading. And it's like, fuck.
How many times have you heard 2020? Am I right?
Oh, that's finally stopped. But oh my God. So I'm curious to know, because one thing I have noticed, there's continuities between different generations and their viewpoint in religion and things like that. But there are also some very big differences as it goes along. So, and I know you can't speak for your entire generation, but as a whole, like in your group of friends that are religiously active, like, what is your general viewpoint like on the Bible and things that are taken from that? Like, because some people are very literal, some people are more like it's an outline. Like, what is your general viewpoint on that?
There's definitely a big split. A lot of people think it's more just like a metaphors. For like a bigger picture. And I mean, I kind of switch back and forth because a lot of it does seem pretty far-fetched. Especially a lot of the Old Testament.
Right.
But I think mostly people in my friend group, I don't want to say that it's just more of like a feel-good thing, but it's more based on emotions and just trying to figure out day-to-day life instead of this man built a large boat and this one was swallowed by a fish.
Yeah.
Like things like that. So I think what's different now is not that it's less based on the Bible, but more on like figuring out day-to-day life and how to actually be like a good human being.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's funny because I can see the tie-in from when we grew up, because we started pulling away from some of that like fire and brimstone, like, heaven or hell, fear-based stuff. And it's kind of made that transition a little bit. I think it's really interesting because what I see a lot of Christians fighting back against, at least in the fundamentalist, where it's a lot of old people, and you're starting to have a falling away because people are like, no, fuck that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Is this whole realizing that, okay, if X, Y, and Z, you're saying this, that means this is always true. And this, in reality, what we're seeing is not how this is happening. So one of two things, it's like either my entire life and everything that I've seen is completely wrong, or we're missing something in translation here.
Yeah.
And I think that younger people are more apt to come up because there's so much exponential change, even since you were little up until now, and things around you. And so you're much more open to like different ideas and things to come across, which a lot of the old people will be like, well, that just means you're just open to sin. But really what it boils down to is it means, hey, things change, like, and not necessarily the root truth of things, but the interpretation, the way that's seen. Like the Bible in that time was written culturally in the New Testament about like women's place in this and this and that. And they'll hang on that stuff. And it's like, but that's not applicable anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like the whole concept, and you'll hear, I've heard a couple on that page that like women need to dress modestly to keep men from looking at them bad. I'm like, well, where's the self-control for men?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, you should always be covered up. You shouldn't have anything unbuttoned. I was like, but a dude can wear a shirt. Like women don't have any issues with lust. Women never look at dudes and be like, I want to jump on that shit. Like it's completely like, it doesn't make sense. Even from a practical perspective, especially since the 60s, 70s, when people realize, hey, you know, women have these desires and feelings too. It's not just men, but all the burden is still placed on females, which is completely ludicrous. And I feel like younger people see that. It's like, why the fuck am I doing this when that guy can have self-control, or vice versa? Like shit like that, that just doesn't play out logically if you think about responsibility, and that I have just as much control over myself as you do of yours, and to try to blame, I don't know. I just feel
think
like
people take some of the stuff about the whole "let not your good be evil spoken of" and some of that other things about causing a person to stumble. They take it way deeper than it should be.
It's all used as an excuse not to take responsibility for the times you fuck up. That's entirely what it is. Because if I can blame a female for making me lust after them, then I'm not responsible for my lust.
Sure.
Or you know, or vice versa. Or if I let my wife run the household, or she steps out of line and we do something we shouldn't do, well, then it's her fault, not mine. It's you know, it's shit like that. And you know, if you are living in sin and you're sick, well, it's because you got sin in your life. It's not because, you know, we're in the fucking world and you get cancer. I don't know. And I guess I feel like the younger people you're more open to change and open ideas.
Definitely.
And it's not as beaten into you. But I don't know. You always give me religious kicks, man, every time with that shit. It makes me
It's
so
been a
mad.
couple of weeks since I've had one.
But it makes me so mad.
I know it does.
So mad.
That's why I have to spread it out now.
That's what she said. But I really want to have Clayton on at some point and talk about some of the stuff, because I'd be interested on some of his opinions on it.
Yeah. So I was just thinking, when you said that's what she said, made me think about, I can remember when Olivia was very young and one of the boys made a joke, and she made a joke then about that joke. And it made me think, yeah, she's going to be a funny one. Yeah. Because my wife asks one of the boys, do you have a girlfriend? And they said, yeah. And she said, oh yeah, what's her name? And he said, Anne Frank. And without missing a beat, Olivia goes, it's a little late for that one. It's a little late.
Well played.
So
well played.
Anyway.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Because you're fixing to talk about something that's not what I'm talking about.
Go ahead. It doesn't matter.
Well, I was just going to say, like, I'd be interested in knowing, like, what it's like for young people in the dating world now. Like, we talked to Gabe and Kelsey about it, but still would be more interested in, like, what it's like because you've been in church for a few years, and I'd be interested to know what the church side of, because I know what it was like when we were in church, courtship and things like that. I would be more interested in learning how the church handles
courtship. Ruined my fucking life.
I'll say, so usually whenever any guy or girl shows any type of interest in each other, starts hanging out alone, it's always like, when are you guys gonna get married? Like when me and
that hasn't changed.
No.
Yeah. When me and Austin started dating, it was we only dated for 3 months. In the first month, it was people asking him, like, oh, are you looking down the road? Like, have you thought about getting married? And I was like, I haven't. So why is everyone talking to him about it? But
because he's the man.
Exactly. But it's definitely still like, I don't want to say like arranged marriages, but it's like, I'm not saying you shouldn't be serious about the person you're dating.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's it's very rushed in church still.
Yeah.
Which is scary because I know plenty of people my age that have already been engaged and are not together anymore,
Yeah.
or have been married and are not together anymore, or are still married and they're my age, and that's weird.
Yeah.
But I think also it's more of just like, I want to get married as soon as possible so I can have sex with someone.
That's exactly. Yep.
That's 100%.
That's how the guys approached it back
Yeah.
in the day. Yeah.
But that was always the thing, though. Like, so many. Anyway, yeah. But it was always like, hey, you're gonna have impure thoughts. If you can might as well be married. And like the whole thing is, it's fucking stupid. It's counterintuitive and counterproductive entirely. Like, you're way better off to bang someone a few times before you get married. Like, you gotta fucking ride the horse before you know if you want to buy it. I mean, it's no, like, seriously, like, sexual compatibility is a huge fucking thing in marriage. And if there's no compatibility there, and I don't know, I don't understand. Like, looking back, I'm like, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard. Not that I recommend, like, as a dude or girl, just banging hundreds of people, but if you're really serious and going to get married, like, that's a huge fucking component.
You don't think you can figure that out after marriage?
Some of it, yeah. I mean, there's some innate chemistry that could happen, but if there's nothing there, nah.
I think if there's nothing there, though.
It depends on how pressured you are, though, in the church. If you get along and somebody's like, well, that's the best you're going to do. Or you hear God.
But that has nothing to do with your sexual chemistry and everything to do with what you're being pressured into.
Exactly. But that's still the same thing. You'll have two people that might just like each other and they're dating a little bit. And suddenly, like, because they're teenagers.
Yeah, but you could be sleeping together, have zero sexual chemistry in the church, still pressure you to get married.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, the sexual chemistry is not playing into that. It's every bit of the pressure the church is putting
right.
on you.
But my point being, like, if you don't know what that chemistry is, my point being, like, I would not recommend anyone to get married until they've slept together at least once. Hands down. And maybe even live together for a couple of months.
Yeah. And the live together thing, and
what I mean, because
I partially agree with.
Because we don't live in a utilitarian based marriage society anymore. Like, at one point it was like, it's mutually beneficial for us to be married. And so we're going to get married and all the other stuff falls into place. Now it's all about that chemistry and being together and what you can make of it. That mindset of it being utilitarian doesn't exist. And so if you don't have some base level shit there, yeah, no, shit's not going to last in this society. No fucking way. Yeah. I'm just,
No, I agree with living with someone, but to an extent, because you can live with someone for, well, I mean, Jessica and Chris lived together for several years together, but as soon as you get married, the mindset and everything changes. It's not the same anymore.
No, but that's the closest you can get to it.
It is the closest you can get to it, but I don't know that it helps too much. I think it may help a little bit. Yeah. I think it helps with the little things like, does the person leave their socks on the floor and things like that?
But I think the church paints a much more unrealistic picture of marriage than.
No, for sure.
I feel like if you're going to prepare for marriage one way or the other, one is more accurate than the other or more productive than the other.
Well, I mean, I've said it 100 times on here is that me and Crystal would not have gotten married when we did had the church not pressured us into it. We would have eventually gotten married.
For sure.
But we were told we had to get married.
Right.
And if we didn't get married, we could never be together ever again.
Right.
Pregnant or not, because she was pregnant with Matthew, that we could never be together.
Which is infuriating.
It is insane.
Yeah.
But after we got married and we had problems, as 18 and 20-year-olds do when they get married, that we were told you're in a good spot. Yeah. Like, we were never told, well, these are some issues that you could be having, and this is how this is healthy ways to work toward it. It was like, you guys are in a good spot. Yeah. You guys are in a good spot.
I think now with, like, in the church, if there's two people that are dating and there's an overwhelming amount of people that know that they're having sex or fooling around or whatever you want to say, and they're going to keep it under wraps until other people start finding out. And then this is an issue. You have to get married now or you have to break up, which is gross, because if people don't know, or if people are just kind of hiding it or disguising it, it's fine. But as soon as people start to figure out, and if it's a popular couple in the church, it's a big thing.
Yeah,
it's a
for
big
sure.
deal.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason, in my opinion, that the divorce rate in the church is higher than in everywhere else. I mean, it's
Yeah.
because of things like that, and it's slowly grown. Because I mean, and I'm happy for you guys, but you and Chris are the absolute exception to most people that grew
Oh,
up where we are.
100%. I know
Almost every couple I knew that got married, like through the church back in the day, they're all fucking divorced.
I only
Every
know
fucking one
2
of them.
couples that got married young. And when I say young, I mean before 25 that are still married.
Yeah. Were they both church involved?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
but like I said, but it's the
They're
definitely,
exceptions
but it's
to the rule,
definitely
yeah.
the exception.
Joe and his wife are one. They
Yeah.
got married young. I think he was under 25. I don't know. I'm not sure. But then Jordan's sister and her husband.
Yeah. True.
Those are the only ones I can
Right.
think of.
And some of that I think depends on the bubble that you're in as well. Like if you always stay in that church bubble, I think it's much easier than if you ever break out of that. But also the infidelity rate in the church is fucking massive. It's I don't know. It's not conducive to healthy relationships.
No,
you know,
it's
and I
not.
mean, and there's definitely a balance. And I'm not
Mhm.
saying like you go out and like every person you're dating for a little bit, like fucking bang them. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying if like we're restraint is good, but we're also sexual beings by nature. Right. And to suppress that because it's quote unquote evil is completely missing the point. And because any type of relationship like that takes an emotional toll, right? Period. It doesn't matter,
Sure.
whatever. And so that there's that to consider. But also being in a relationship for, like a year, feeling like you should get married, never giving into any type of like physical thing, and then breaking up is just as fucking soul crushing.
Yeah.
Or can be. And
Absolutely.
And I get, again, self-restraint's a good thing. Moderation's a good thing. But like the whole thing of the church is it's so like Victorian in the sense of like anything pleasurable is bad.
Sure.
And it comes from that Catholic, that Catholic base.
Sure.
And I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I mean,
It's kind of like the one thing that was like, being gay is a sin, God said as he put the G spot in the man's butthole, like LOL. It's like, come on.
right. I get it. I mean, but everything that we went through early on in our marriage, being told, I took yours, so if you want it, you can have it.
Thank you.
Everything we went through early on in marriage and being told that we're in a good spot, even though we were not in a good spot. I mean, we got married at 18 and 20, and in less than 3 months, we're told it was a good idea to let a woman and her 2 kids move in with us because she was in a bad spot. We're living in a 2-bedroom apartment.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, all that. So when we, in 2014, when we separated for the better part of a year, it was devastating. At 33 years old, you're devastated.
Yeah.
And it's not, I mean, but it's not healthy for anyone in the family at that point.
Yeah.
There are lasting effects that on you and your spouse and your kids.
Well, basically what the church did is fostered codependency.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Which is super unhealthy, period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There should have been a men's small group taking me aside.
Anyway, but it's got to be hard to balance. So like even you exit in and out of it, like to like be somewhat of a logical, clear thinking human being, but still have like the part of you that identifies with the base tenets of what church is supposed to be. Right. But then when you're in, because American church is American church, like there's better versions of it than others. But I mean, I'm sure it's taken some time to sort through some of that and kind of land on a place where you're comfortable, lack of a better word.
Definitely.
And then I'm sure that's a challenging thing. But I know one thing. I should say I know one thing. It seems to me, observing, that Joey and Chris have never like slammed too much in your head of this is how you have to be, like church wise.
Definitely not at all. They've been pretty hands off just in general about it.
It doesn't sound good though.
It's all right. She's called me an absentee father before,
It's
so
fine,
it's fine.
They've been hands off. That doesn't sound very good.
In a way of like figure it out what you want.
Right.
Sure.
Because I mean, if they were like slamming it in my brain of what I should be or how I should believe, they would have done the same thing to Matthew and Gabe, and look how they turned out.
Right. I think it's good though. I mean, because I think it's much more healthy to give your kid the information when they ask questions.
Yeah.
And then let them, because you're going to be much more secure in your belief system if you've come to those beliefs through your own journey. But you know what I mean? Because you've come to those conclusions yourself. Like my viewpoints have changed significantly since I was younger, but it's because life's kicked the shit out of me a few times. But I've come to them on my own.
Yeah.
Now, granted, when we were younger, we had that shit crammed down our throat.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. It's interesting. Just like I said, that walk through. And I know like you've gone to church a few times with her back years ago because she was interested in going, and
Sure.
you were supportive, and
Yeah, we went for her second baptism.
You're better than me.
Yep.
Yeah. How great was it? Because I know you can throw back to this of going and like getting saved like once every couple of months because of whatever.
It's a rush.
when
the pastor's like, raise your hand, and you're like, it's a rush.
It's a rush.
Yeah. Like, sweet, I'm going to heaven again. For sure.
For sure.
I wasn't sure last week, but I'm sure now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I lost my salvation when I looked at Ryan Reynolds like that. I gotta
well,
go
my mom told my sister that I'm lost. I must be lost. That's what she said.
You are.
That's what she said about this podcast. She's like, I don't know why he says the things that he says. He must be lost.
Because you just blame me. Because fucking Steven, man, that guy.
Oh my God.
That boy's possessed by the devil.
Yeah, evidently.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wait a minute. That means that she's a devil worshiper because she's on here.
Shit. Or she's just a young youth that we've drawn into
one
our
of them
evil
youths.
ways. One of them youths.
Oh God. So, all right. So the church that you recently were going to, I thought was a pretty progressive church.
Yeah.
Although they're predominantly white and
yes,
and mostly filled with good-looking people with money. Yes.
Do they like the gays?
Was my question.
Really?
How was the gay thing? Because they seem pretty progressive. So I thought that they might be at least not as judgmental as when we grew up. Right.
Not as judgmental, like face on.
Right.
But yeah, deep down. I know of a kid that came to like the student like worship things, and the pastor at the time told him that he couldn't be gay. Like he wasn't allowed to be gay. He had to not be gay.
Wow.
Which isn't surprising.
No.
But I would say I wouldn't say that it was a progressive church. It was just flowing with the times.
Yeah.
Which I guess is what
I got
might call progressive, but
yeah.
No, not friendly towards the gays.
Yeah. Well, Lyric has decided lately that she's pansexual. That's what she's told me. She's almost 13. And she has really no full concept of what that is. She just, she loves people and she loves Panic at the Disco. And their lead singer came out as pansexual. And that's fine. And I've had the conversation with her. I was like, that's fine. It's like, I love you. Doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't give a shit. But I said, we got family that does. And it's like, you don't have to be ashamed of who you are. You can tell who you want, but there are going to be repercussions with relationships with people you may choose to tell about this. And, she's got a girlfriend right now.
I told you someone in our family came out to a couple different people on vacation this past week.
Yeah.
Speaking of gay, I've got a clip for you.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
I know. You're go and play it. You're dying. I was trying to share.
No, I'm not dying. I'm not dying at all.
The look on your face does the look on his face say otherwise?
I think he's hopeful.
He's hopeful.
He's not dying.
Go ahead.
Do you believe that the Lord tonight has set you free?
Yes, sir.
Turn around and tell those people.
Tell them.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more.
I say whoa, but
I said I like women. Women.
I just thought it was funny how his voice changed.
What?
I'm not gay. I would not date a man. I would not carry a purse. I would not put on makeup. I will love a woman.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I used to find that funny. It just makes me mad now. Like,
it does.
Honestly, it pisses me the fuck off.
It's not funny, ha ha.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of funny.
It's not funny, ha. It's funny.
It's funny. I don't know.
It's a ghost.
There's a lot of things. Look, we were laughing at something that we shouldn't be laughing at earlier, and no. We still think it's funny.
No. Like, it's funny to me that people are that ridiculous, but to actually hear this shit come out of people's mouth, it's because I'm so angry with church shit. That's what it boils down to. If that had been anybody else, I don't know.
The funny part, the thing I laugh at about is when he said, "I'm not gay no more."
Right.
That's I don't know why that's funny.
No, it's funny. I don't know, man. I've gotten to where they're all fucking bullies, man. It's all fucking bullying, and that's the shit that gets.
I think somebody like that's a plant, though. I think that's somebody planted there. Like, hey, I need you to come up and act like you're gay later. Like,
maybe.
I think the church just looks at like sin as a different step stools.
Yeah.
Like there's stairs. There are ones that are higher up than others, and ones that aren't as bad.
Yeah.
Which is completely opposite from what the Bible actually says.
Yeah.
And I think that's why. I mean, we had a sermon series at my former church that was called "No Perfect People Allowed," and
That's a very church
the
title.
video, like the bumper video, would say like different words would flash across the screen, and it was like addict, single mom. Like it was one of them was like murderer though, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Are you really gonna let a murderer in here, but not a gay man?"
Bill Cosby.
Really?
That was another one that
Right.
flashed
Yeah.
across there.
Yeah. It's funny to me that murderer and single mom were on the same. And I shouldn't say that for some reason that particular one pissed me off. Like usually it's funny to me, but for that one fucking just, I don't know if it's the tone of his voice, that one rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know why.
I got you.
That would, like the Bedford Forest guy, funny as fuck. That one for some reason just got me.
Bedford Forest.
Or not Bedford Forest, Robert E. Lee.
Robert E. Lee. I
Yeah,
was
sorry.
saying, whoa, easy. Easy. You're putting him in the Klan.
Well,
he was just
you know.
talking about the Confederacy.
Yeah. Well, tomato. I don't know, man. I don't know why that one rubbed me wrong. I just heard it and I was like, fuck that guy, man. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, well. Whatever.
So you started all this shit with the kicking the church set off, man.
I know.
You did on purpose.
It's been 2 weeks.
Oh,
At least
geez.
2 or 3 weeks
Yeah.
at least since I played a clip. So
And I don't know why it gets under my skin so fucking much.
I know why, because there's a little bit of you, same as me, that feels a bit guilty of some of the shit that you said to people when you were involved in it.
It's not guilt for me. I just recognize that I was wrong and there's no way for me to take that back.
Yeah. Well, but that's it. That's a bit of a guilt and a bit of a I feel bad for putting someone else through.
But I don't
that.
feel bad. That's the thing. It's like I just like I don't like putting out false information.
Sure.
I realize that I put some shit in I put some stuff in some kids. But I people that looked up to me from a position of authority, I fed them information that was incorrect and I can't undo that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. 3 or 4 weeks ago, you said something along the lines of you feel bad about that.
Yeah,
so that's why
I guess lack of a better word. Yeah,
sure.
But I just hate knowing that I fed into that cycle.
Krista and I were talking about that recently. It was like, and I said that, and she was like, "Yeah, I think about that, and I think about what kind of crap did I feed someone because I thought that's what it was because that's what I've been fed."
Right.
Yeah.
But again, that's what you're fed. And especially when you're young and you're really idealistic and zealous for whatever you're believing, you want to do the best you can. And when that's being condoned and you're being, groomed by those people. And that's just, I'm trying to think of the right word. I'm completely blanking out because I'm tired of shit, but predatory. Like the church traditionally, and again, and by the church, I'm talking about the organization, the church, not the people, but it's been so predatory over people that are young and willing. It's like my whole foundation, the reason I started there was out of this desire to make things better. And I wanted to help people and I wanted to do this stuff because that's what I was told that you do. You know what I mean? Like that's what you do as a person. You help people and blah, 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 blah. And so I just bought into this shit, and again, conceptually, if it helps the people that helps make sense of your life and to live better and to be kind and all that shit, great. But when it starts bleeding over into the other stuff of like, just treating people like garbage because you're more pious and holy than them. Fuck that.
Yeah.
But again, you're told that you feel that way because they need to be brought up to your level. So you're constantly throwing pity on people and reaching down to them as opposed to like treating people as equals. But that's why there's so much other like closeted sin in the church, because you suppress enough things, it's going to come out one way or another. Anyway, God, I'm fucking ranting. Jesus Christ. Fuck you, man.
I don't think Jesus Christ has anything to do with it.
No, Jesus Christ has everything to do with this.
I don't think he does.
The use of Jesus Christ
There
has
you
everything
go.
to do with
That's
this.
more like it. Oh, God. All right. Let's wrap it up here.
Okay.
So I noticed that you asked her about the negative things about me as her father.
Yeah,
But you didn't ask about any of the
I
positive
don't give a
things.
shit about the positive things.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay, the positive thing is you were actually here in her life. How's that? There's a positive thing.
Oh, my God. Jesus.
He has nothing to do with this. Actually,
No, he has everything to do with this.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that.
Okay.
All right. I'm tired of shit. So
yeah, maybe we'll get her back on sometime, but we could get both of the boys on as well.
Yeah.
Because Matthew expresses zero interest in it when I mentioned
well,
it to
yeah,
him.
when he expresses zero interest in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not weed. A lot of interest in weed.
A lot of interest in weed. Well, yeah.
Did I tell you about him cutting off half of the end of his finger in his first day on the job at Cheesecake Factory?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Did I tell you about that?
Yeah.
I didn't think I did. Okay.
Maybe you did. I remember something about a finger and cutting, but that's
Yeah, like legitimately into the fingernail, cut it off.
yeah. No, you mentioned that, and I think
Yeah.
I just glossed over it because I was wanting to talk about something else. But yeah, you told me.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You're just done at this point.
I'm really tired.
she has to drive to Nashville tomorrow, or she has to ride to Nashville tomorrow.
Oh,
she'll
I'm
get to-
so
she
sorry.
can
I have
sleep
to
on
go
the
on
way.
a boat.
Oh.
Oh.
And she's not taking her dog with her, so
It's terrible. Your dog?
her dog that we will be watching for the next 24 hours.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for finally coming on
Yeah.
the show. What?
Nothing. Just laughing.
Laughing at?
I don't feel like it went the way you thought it would.
I didn't have a preconceived notion. It was a last minute thing. Like I had no preparation.
Okay.
I thought it was good conversation.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
You're projecting.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I feel like with your other kids here, especially with Gabe, then it would be much of a gang up and spit on you session.
You
but-
think so?
Yeah.
Do you think that?
No, I think it would turn on to more of a shit
They
on
might
you session.
they might joke on me for
Yeah,
sure. Like
for
that's-
sure.
that's what I
was
meant.
gonna say.
Yeah. But it sounded like so you're saying that they would actually like bring out things that they really thought.
Oh
or
no,
whatever.
no! I consider shit on you just giving you a hard
Oh,
time.
I don't care. I deal with that on a
I know.
regular basis. So.
I know.
So
No, I didn't think she was going to shit on you. You're her favorite parent. She's your favorite kid. This was not going to go like against you at any point in time. I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
I did like the seeing you cry thing. That makes me happy
That's
forever. So
Yeah.
she's seen you cry. I've seen you naked. You know, it all.
That's
it all
that's
evens
true.
out. Yeah,
But you've seen her mother naked as well.
that's true.
So-
I have seen your mom
I
naked.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, can't put that horse back in the barn now.
Yeah.
there were a lot
Oh
of
wait, I did know that.
I was gonna say there were a lot of things that we participated in when you guys used to go to your grandmother's house.
Yeah.
Strip poker, things like that.
Yeah.
We were so on our wild oats because
Yeah.
we
They never.
church married
They
us off
never.
young.
They never invited me to the orgies though.
No, well, 'cause we were never involved in orgies.
Oh, okay.
Oh my
They
God.
were friendship gatherings.
No.
Where
Key-
every
Key parties.
key parties.
No.
They were dinner parties
Oh
where
my
everyone
God.
fucked.
No, they weren't. That never happened. Ever. I was never a part of that. Oh my God.
Now I've gotten what I wanted out of
Did
this
you?
podcast. I was saving it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you feel good.
All right.
Amanda, just know that when he leaves in a minute, he's way too buzzed to drive. So
Okay.
just know that in a moment.
All right.
So
I got my veterans card. It's fine.
yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
your dog just shit on the couch.
I don't think
Or
so.
it was Olivia, one of the two.
No, that's very bad gas.
Yeah.
So all right.
Thanks for being on.
Let me think.
I don't know what the fuck's on the next
Did you
episode.
reschedule American Idol
I
girl?
have not yet.
No, but she does know that she's not on next week, right?
She will. I just found out like 2
Okay.
days ago.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
All
I've been busy.
I got you.
Yeah.
That's fine. So I don't know what'll happen next week. We'll find out. If
Nothing-
I had to
nothing
if I had to guess, it'll be just the two of us.
Ugh.
Maybe Gabe will be back by then.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Maybe I'll want to be here in 2 weeks.
Poor Gabe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Until next time.
Bye.
Give us a thumbs up on Facebook at B3F Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at B3F Podcast and on Instagram at B3F_podcast. Send us your questions or comments to bfff.podcast@gmail.com. Rate us and review us wherever you listen to the show. And as always, thanks for listening.